Happiness. It's something we all seek, yet many spend their entire lives chasing it without ever truly finding it. We've been told by society, media, and even those around us that happiness comes from success, wealth, relationships, and external validation. But if that's the case, why do so many people who achieve these things still feel empty and dissatisfied? Why does happiness seem to slip through our fingers the moment we think we've finally grasped it? What if happiness has been misunderstood all along? What if happiness is not something to chase, but something to cultivate within? This is where a different perspective comes into play, one rooted in wisdom that stood the test of time. Stoicism offers a path to happiness that doesn't depend on fleeting external conditions. It teaches that real happiness begins and ends within you. You are the one who holds the key to your own joy, no matter what's happening in the world around you. For many, the idea that happiness is something they can control feels like a revelation. It means that you no longer have to wait for perfect circumstances, the approval of others, or a stroke of luck to feel happy. Instead, you can build happiness from the inside out, brick by brick, through the way you think, the habits you cultivate, and the mindset you embrace. One of the most empowering things you'll discover is that your mind is a powerful tool. When you master your thoughts and emotions, you gain the ability to navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of peace and resilience. Stoicism teaches that happiness is not the absence of difficulties, but the ability to face life's inevitable challenges with strength and grace. It's not about denying hardships or pretending life is always easy, but about responding to those hardships in a way that protects your inner peace. Too often, we allow things beyond our control, other people's opinions, uncontrollable events, unexpected challenges, to dictate how we feel. We give our happiness away to things that, in reality, have no power over us unless we let them. But there is an alternative. By learning to let go of what's outside your control and focusing on what you can control, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that many people find themselves trapped on. You gain a steady, unwavering sense of contentment that's not easily shaken. It's not just about thinking differently. True happiness also involves shedding the habits that quietly drain your joy, often without you even noticing. Think about how many times a day you dwell on past mistakes, stress about the future, or compare yourself to others. These mental habits rob you of your present peace and prevent you from experiencing the happiness that could be right in front of you. The good news is, once you become aware of these habits, you can begin to replace them with ones that nurture your happiness, bringing more lightness, gratitude, and joy into your life. Every day offers a new opportunity to cultivate happiness. A small shift in your daily routine can have a powerful impact on your mindset and emotional well-being. By starting your day with practices that align with Stoic wisdom, you set the tone for the hours ahead. Instead of letting your morning be consumed by stress, rushing, or worrying, you can build a morning routine that fuels your sense of peace, purpose, and happiness. With just a few intentional habits, you can transform your entire day, and eventually, your entire life. Of course, life is not without its challenges. We all face setbacks, losses, and disappointments. But what if those very challenges could be used as stepping stones to greater happiness? Stoicism teaches that even in the face of adversity, you can find joy, not by ignoring the pain, but by learning from it, growing through it, and becoming stronger because of it. The Stoic approach is one of resilience, where every difficulty becomes an opportunity to build deeper inner strength and a more lasting sense of happiness. And let's talk about the people you surround yourself with. Whether we realize it or not, the people in our lives have a profound impact on our happiness. Negative, toxic individuals can drain your energy, plant seeds of doubt, and steal your joy. But Stoicism shows that you have the power to protect your happiness by setting boundaries and choosing the right people to share your life with. Walking away from toxic influences isn't just an act of self-care, it's an essential step in creating a life of peace and happiness. There's a certain kind of happiness that comes not from loud, fleeting moments, but from quiet, everyday peace. The kind that doesn't require constant validation from others or approval from the outside world. This is the kind of happiness Stoicism invites you to embrace. A happiness that comes from silence and stillness, from knowing who you are and finding contentment within yourself. Too often, we fall into the trap of thinking that our happiness depends on how others treat us or what others think of us. But relying on external validation is like building a house on sand. It's unstable, temporary, and unreliable. Stoicism teaches the art of emotional independence. When you learn to find happiness within, you become free from the need for others' approval. You become your own source of joy, and no one can take that away from you. Rejection and failure, two things that most people dread, can actually become your greatest teachers in the pursuit of happiness. When viewed through a Stoic lens, rejection is not the end of the road. It's a redirection towards something better. And failure, it's simply a step on the path to growth. Every setback becomes an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, build resilience, and become wiser. In this way, even the things that once caused pain can ultimately lead you to a deeper sense of happiness and fulfillment. The idea of detachment can be difficult for some to grasp, especially in a world that teaches us to cling tightly to people, possessions, and outcomes. But Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. True happiness comes not from holding on, but from letting go. Letting go of the need to control everything, letting go of the fear of losing what you have, and letting go of the desire for things to always go your way. When you detach from these expectations, you free yourself to experience the joy that's found in the present moment, in what is rather than what you think should be. Gratitude is another cornerstone of Stoic happiness. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, do more, and be more, gratitude brings us back to the simple, profound joy of what we already have. By training your mind to focus on the blessings in your life, no matter how small, you cultivate a sense of contentment that can't be shaken by external circumstances. Stoicism reminds us that happiness isn't found in having everything we want. It's found in appreciating everything we already have. And perhaps the most freeing aspect of Stoic happiness is learning to live without the need for external validation. In a culture that prizes likes, followers, and approval, Stoicism teaches that your worth doesn't come from others' opinions. Your happiness is not dependent on how others see you, but on how you see yourself. By breaking free from the need for constant validation, you reclaim your inner power and open the door to a more authentic, lasting sense of joy. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about learning to find happiness, not in the grand gestures or the perfect moments, but in the everyday, in the simplicity of life, in the things that often go unnoticed. It's about understanding that true happiness is not a destination, it's a way of being. As you embark on this path, remember that happiness is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. With every thought, every choice, and every action, you have the power to build a life of lasting joy and peace. This is the promise of Stoicism, a life where happiness is not something to chase, but something that quietly, deeply, and authentically grows from within. Mastering the mind is the foundation of lasting happiness. It's not the external events in life that shape our emotions, but the way we perceive and react to them. In a world full of constant distractions, pressures and challenges, your mind becomes the battlefield where true happiness is either won or lost. Stoicism offers a way to conquer that battlefield by teaching us how to take control of our thoughts and emotions. The result is a calm, centered state of being that no external circumstance can shake. In life, things happen, good and bad, expected and unexpected. However, it's the narrative we create in our minds about those events that dictates whether we experience peace or turmoil. By learning to master your thoughts, you take the first step toward emotional freedom. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control everything around us, we can always control how we interpret and respond. This shift in thinking is the first key to unlocking happiness. When you understand that your power lies within your mind, you free yourself from the chaos of the outside world. Emotions, when left unchecked, can be wild and overwhelming. They can take over your entire day, shift your mood, and leave you feeling powerless. But when you learn to observe and understand them, they become tools rather than obstacles. Stoicism encourages us to pause and reflect on our emotions instead of reacting impulsively. The more you practice this, the more you realize that emotions are temporary and do not define you. Instead of being at the mercy of your feelings, you can harness them to grow and maintain inner peace. This control over emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to recognize emotions for what they are, signals that help us navigate the world. By acknowledging them without letting them dominate your mind, you gain a deeper sense of clarity. The mind becomes more peaceful when it is no longer dragged in every direction by fleeting emotions. In this space of clarity, happiness has room to flourish. Thoughts are powerful. They can either empower you or leave you feeling trapped. The Stoics understood that most of the suffering we experience is created in the mind, not by external events. When you start examining the thoughts that arise, you'll notice patterns. Some are helpful, while others keep you stuck in negativity. By gaining mastery over these thoughts, you shift from a victim of circumstance to the architect of your own happiness. This process takes time and patience, but it is a journey worth taking. Happiness rooted in the mind is unshakable because it doesn't rely on circumstances or other people. When you develop the ability to filter and shape your thoughts, you gain an immense sense of freedom. Life becomes less about reacting to every little thing that happens and more about maintaining inner calm, no matter the situation. The Stoics knew that when the mind is strong and disciplined, happiness naturally follows. It's important to realize that no one else can control your mind unless you allow them to. Many people unknowingly give others the power to influence their emotions. By mastering your mind, you reclaim that power. You stop giving away your peace to someone else's actions or words. This doesn't mean becoming detached or uncaring, but rather, it's about being in control of your own emotional experience. When you don't allow others to dictate your happiness, you build a strong foundation that cannot be easily shaken. The mind, when disciplined, becomes a safe haven. Instead of running from your thoughts, you learn to face them with courage and wisdom. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, having control over your mind provides stability. When your mind is in a calm state, happiness isn't something you have to search for. It's something that naturally arises. The more you practice Stoic principles, the more you cultivate this calm, and the deeper your sense of happiness becomes. Challenges will always be a part of life. However, Stoicism teaches that adversity isn't what causes suffering. Our thoughts about the adversity are what create pain. When you learn to master your mind, you see obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than as threats to your happiness. This shift in perspective is crucial. It means that no matter what life throws at you, your happiness remains intact. Difficult moments can no longer destroy your peace because you've trained your mind to stay centered. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is learning to separate what is within your control from what is not. When you focus only on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, you let go of unnecessary worries. This act of surrendering what is outside your control brings a deep sense of relief. You stop wasting mental energy on things you cannot change, and as a result, your mind becomes more peaceful. A mind free from unnecessary stress is a mind that is open to happiness. Our thoughts shape our reality. If your thoughts are filled with worry, anger, or resentment, your experience of life will reflect that. But if your thoughts are grounded in peace, gratitude, and acceptance, your life will feel more joyful. The Stoics understood this well. They knew that to cultivate happiness, one must first cultivate the right mindset. This mindset doesn't come from wishful thinking, but from disciplined practice. By mastering your thoughts, you create a reality where happiness is possible in every moment. Fear is one of the greatest barriers to happiness. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, all of these can paralyze you and keep you from living fully. But Stoicism teaches that fear is just another thought, one that can be questioned and reframed. When you master your mind, fear no longer controls you. Instead, you learn to move forward despite it, knowing that your happiness doesn't depend on the absence of fear, but on your ability to face it with courage. One of the ways to master your mind is through daily reflection. The Stoics were big advocates of self-examination, often ending each day by reviewing their thoughts and actions. This practice allows you to catch unhelpful patterns of thinking before they take root. By reflecting on your thoughts, you begin to notice which ones lead to peace and which ones lead to distress. Over time, you naturally start to choose the thoughts that align with your happiness. The Stoic principle of acceptance is another crucial aspect of mastering the mind. Acceptance doesn't mean passive resignation. It means acknowledging reality as it is, without resistance. When you stop fighting against what you cannot change, your mind becomes more peaceful. This acceptance brings with it a sense of freedom and ease. Instead of wasting energy wishing things were different, you focus on making the best of what is. This mental shift is key to experiencing lasting happiness. Patience is essential in mastering the mind. It's easy to get frustrated when things don't go as planned or when life throws unexpected challenges your way. But the Stoics knew that true strength comes from the ability to remain calm in the face of delays or difficulties. By cultivating patience, you train your mind to stay steady even when things are uncertain. This patience brings a sense of calm that allows happiness to emerge, even in the midst of adversity. Gratitude plays a central role in the Stoic approach to happiness. It's easy to take things for granted, especially in the fast-paced world we live in. But when you pause to reflect on the blessings in your life, no matter how small, you begin to see that happiness is already present. Mastering your mind means training it to focus on the good rather than dwelling on what's lacking. The more you practice gratitude, the more you nurture a mindset of abundance and joy. A key part of mastering the mind is letting go of attachment to outcomes. We often tie our happiness to specific goals or achievements, thinking we'll be happy once we reach a certain milestone. But this type of conditional happiness is fragile. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from doing your best in each moment and letting go of the need for a specific outcome. When you detach from the results, you free yourself from disappointment and open yourself to the joy that comes from simply being present. Self-awareness is another critical aspect of mind mastery. Without self-awareness, it's easy to get swept up in negative thoughts without even realizing it. But when you cultivate mindfulness, you become more attuned to the workings of your mind. You notice when a thought is starting to take you down a negative path, and you can choose to redirect it. This awareness allows you to stay grounded in the present moment, where happiness resides. Mastering your mind also involves developing resilience. Life will inevitably bring challenges, but with a strong mind, you can bounce back from difficulties more quickly. Stoicism teaches that setbacks are not to be feared, but embraced as opportunities to grow stronger. With each challenge, your mind becomes more resilient, and with that resilience comes a deeper sense of peace and happiness. Another aspect of mastering the mind is learning to quiet it. In our modern world, the mind is often overactive, constantly bombarded with information, worries, and distractions. But Stoicism encourages us to cultivate moments of stillness. When the mind is quiet, clarity emerges, and with that clarity comes a sense of calm and contentment. These moments of mental stillness are where true happiness can be found. The Stoics knew that mastering the mind was not something that happened overnight. It's a daily practice, one that requires commitment and patience. But each small step you take toward mental mastery brings you closer to lasting happiness. Over time, you begin to see that happiness is not something that exists outside of you, waiting to be found. It's something you create within through the discipline of your mind. As you continue to cultivate this mastery, you'll find that happiness becomes less about chasing fleeting pleasures and more about embracing the beauty of each moment. The mind, once chaotic and scattered, becomes a place of peace. And in that peace, happiness quietly takes root. As we close the chapter on mastering the mind, it's crucial to look at the invisible barriers that often block our path to happiness. These barriers take the form of subtle habits that, without us realizing it, slowly drain our joy and keep us from experiencing true peace. They operate quietly, ingrained in daily life, yet their impact is profound. Removing them is essential for anyone seeking lasting happiness. Now, let's explore the habits that quietly steal your joy and, more importantly, how Stoicism provides the tools to eliminate them. One habit that quietly erodes joy is the constant urge to control everything. Whether it's trying to manipulate outcomes, situations, or even people, this habit creates tension and frustration. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from understanding what is and isn't within our control. When you release the need to control every detail, you create space for happiness to grow. Accepting that some things are beyond your influence is freeing, allowing you to focus your energy on the things that truly matter. Another subtle thief of joy is holding unrealistic expectations, whether of yourself, others, or life in general. High expectations often lead to disappointment when reality doesn't align with your ideals. Stoicism encourages us to expect less from external circumstances and instead focus on internal growth. By shifting your expectations, you learn to appreciate life as it unfolds, finding joy in the present rather than in unmet desires. This small adjustment can lead to a deep sense of contentment and peace. The habit of self-criticism is a quiet but powerful enemy of happiness. When your inner dialogue is filled with harsh judgment and negative self-talk, it's hard to feel content. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-compassion and understanding. Rather than criticizing yourself for mistakes or shortcomings, view them as opportunities for growth. This mindset shift allows you to embrace your imperfections and move forward with confidence, free from the burden of constant self-judgment. The habit of distraction is another subtle joy stealer. In a world filled with endless entertainment and information, it's easy to lose focus on what really matters. Constantly seeking distraction pulls you away from the present moment and creates a sense of restlessness. Stoicism teaches the value of mindfulness and intentional living. By minimizing distractions and focusing on the here and now, you reconnect with your sense of purpose and peace. This return to mindfulness brings a deeper, more fulfilling happiness. Fear of failure is a habit that silently undermines happiness. The avoidance of risk and the need for certainty can keep you from pursuing opportunities that could bring great joy and fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Every failure is a chance to learn and grow. By shifting your perspective on failure, you reduce its power to paralyze you and open yourself up to new experiences and personal growth. In this way, fear of failure loses its grip on your happiness. A tendency toward pessimism is another quiet but damaging habit. When you consistently focus on what's wrong or could go wrong, you close yourself off to the joy and beauty in life. Stoicism encourages us to shift our perspective from what's missing to what's present. Practicing gratitude and reframing negative thoughts helps counteract pessimism, allowing you to see the positive in any situation. This change in outlook can dramatically increase your sense of happiness and well-being. The habit of complaining is another subtle way that joy slips away. Complaints, whether about small inconveniences or larger life issues, keep you focused on what's wrong rather than what's right. Stoicism teaches that while it's normal to experience difficulties, dwelling on them through constant complaining only amplifies your dissatisfaction. By shifting from complaining to problem-solving or acceptance, you take back control of your happiness. This proactive mindset is much more conducive to lasting peace. People-pleasing is a habit that quietly steals your joy because it places your happiness in the hands of others. Constantly trying to meet others' expectations or gain their approval leaves little room for your own needs and desires. Stoicism teaches that your worth isn't tied to others' opinions, but to your own integrity and values. By prioritizing what's true to you over the desire to please others, you reclaim your personal power and protect your happiness. This shift allows you to live more authentically, which naturally brings more joy. Living in a state of worry is another habit that drains joy over time. Whether it's worrying about the future, your health, or things beyond your control, worry creates a constant state of unease. Stoicism teaches that worrying about things you can't control is not only unproductive, but harmful to your peace of mind. By practicing acceptance and focusing only on what's within your power, you free yourself from the constant cycle of worry. This release brings a calmness that is essential for true happiness. Indecisiveness is a subtle habit that erodes joy by keeping you stuck in a cycle of uncertainty and inaction. When you constantly second-guess yourself or avoid making decisions, it leads to frustration and regret. Stoicism teaches the importance of decisive action and trusting in your own judgment. By learning to make choices confidently and without fear of the outcome, you break free from the paralysis of indecision and open the door to a more fulfilling, joyful life. Resentment is another quiet but corrosive habit that slowly eats away at happiness. Holding on to bitterness or grudges toward others keeps you trapped in negative emotions. Stoicism emphasizes forgiveness, not for the sake of the other person, but for your own peace. Letting go of resentment frees up emotional energy that can be redirected toward more positive pursuits. This act of forgiveness is liberating and allows happiness to return to your heart, unclouded by past grievances. The need for constant stimulation is a habit that prevents you from experiencing contentment. When you're always seeking the next source of excitement or entertainment, it becomes difficult to appreciate the simple, quiet moments in life. Stoicism teaches the value of simplicity and stillness. By learning to find joy in moments of calm and reflection, you cultivate a deeper, more sustainable happiness. This shift from chasing thrills to appreciating the present moment brings a lasting sense of peace. Impatience is another habit that quietly undermines joy. Whether it's impatience with yourself, others, or life in general, this habit creates frustration and stress. Stoicism teaches the virtue of patience, reminding us that growth and progress take time. By embracing patience, you release the need for immediate results and learn to enjoy the journey. This patience fosters a sense of contentment, as you no longer feel rushed or anxious about the future. The habit of always saying yes is another quiet thief of joy. Overcommitting yourself to obligations, tasks, or people can leave you feeling drained and overwhelmed. Stoicism teaches the importance of setting boundaries and protecting your energy. By learning to say no when necessary, you create more space for the things that truly matter to you. This balance allows you to live with more intention and joy, as you are no longer stretched thin by the demands of others. Neglecting your physical health is a habit that quietly diminishes your joy over time. When you don't take care of your body through proper nutrition, exercise, and rest, it affects your mental and emotional well-being as well. Stoicism teaches the importance of caring for your whole self, body, mind, and spirit. By making your health a priority, you create a strong foundation for happiness. A healthy body supports a healthy mind, which in turn nurtures lasting joy. Jealousy is another subtle habit that can poison your happiness. When you focus on what others have that you don't, it creates feelings of lack and resentment. Stoicism teaches the importance of contentment with what you have and the understanding that material possessions do not equate to happiness. By shifting your focus away from envy and toward gratitude for your own blessings, you create a mindset that fosters peace and joy. Living with a sense of entitlement is a habit that can quietly erode your happiness. Expecting that life or others owe you something sets you up for disappointment when those expectations aren't met. Stoicism teaches humility and the understanding that life owes us nothing. By letting go of entitlement and embracing gratitude for what you do have, you experience a deeper sense of appreciation and happiness. This mindset shift frees you from the disappointment that entitlement brings. Criticizing others is another habit that steals your joy. When you constantly focus on the faults of those around you, it creates a negative atmosphere that affects your mood and relationships. Stoicism teaches the importance of empathy and understanding. Instead of criticizing, practice compassion and patience with others. This shift in perspective not only improves your relationships, but also brings a greater sense of peace and joy to your own life. Perfectionism is a habit that quietly robs you of joy by setting unattainable standards for yourself and others. When nothing is ever good enough, it creates a constant sense of dissatisfaction. Stoicism teaches that imperfection is part of life, and accepting this truth allows you to find peace. By letting go of the need for perfection and embracing progress instead, you open yourself to a more relaxed and joyful way of living. This acceptance of imperfection is key to lasting happiness. The habit of gossiping is another subtle way joy slips away. Engaging in negative talk about others may provide a temporary sense of connection or superiority, but it ultimately fosters negativity and discontent. Stoicism teaches that focusing on your own behavior and growth is far more productive. By avoiding gossip and cultivating positive, meaningful conversations, you build a life filled with respect, kindness, and joy. This shift in how you engage with others helps create a more uplifting and peaceful environment. Procrastinating on personal growth is a habit that can keep you from experiencing deeper happiness. When you put off working on yourself, whether through self-reflection, learning, or growth, you miss opportunities for improvement and fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that personal growth is a lifelong journey, one that requires daily effort and reflection. By committing to continuous self-improvement, you nurture your happiness from within and create a sense of purpose that sustains you over time. By identifying and removing these subtle habits that steal your joy, you free yourself to experience the true peace and happiness that Stoicism offers. Each habit is an opportunity to practice mindfulness, discipline, and inner growth. The more you refine your daily actions and thoughts, the closer you get to living a life of sustained joy and fulfillment. As you've learned to identify and eliminate the subtle habits that drain your joy, it's time to focus on building habits that cultivate happiness. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by shaping your mornings. How you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. The Stoics understood that the first moments after waking hold immense potential for creating a life of peace, purpose, and joy. A well-crafted morning routine, rooted in Stoic principles, can transform the way you navigate the rest of your day. Let's delve into how you can create a morning routine that grounds you in happiness from the moment you rise. Starting the day with clarity begins with reflection. In the stillness of the morning, before the world rushes in with its demands, take a moment to assess your thoughts. The Stoics believed that reflecting on the day ahead allows you to mentally prepare for whatever challenges may come your way. This simple act of mindfulness keeps you grounded and focused, giving you a sense of control over your mindset. By acknowledging potential difficulties and preparing to meet them with calm and resilience, you lay the foundation for a joyful day. A key aspect of the Stoic morning routine is gratitude. Before diving into tasks or obligations, pause to acknowledge what you have. Practicing gratitude as soon as you wake up shifts your mind from a state of wanting or anxiety to one of contentment. Gratitude is a powerful tool for happiness because it roots you in the present and makes you aware of the abundance already in your life. By starting your day with this mindset, you create a buffer against negativity and stress. The more you practice gratitude in the morning, the more resilient your happiness becomes throughout the day. Stoicism teaches the importance of setting intentions for the day. Instead of letting the day control you, you take charge by deciding what kind of person you want to be and how you want to act. This isn't about creating a to-do list, but about shaping your character. By reminding yourself of your values and the kind of life you wish to lead, you guide your actions with purpose. When you live with intention, each decision becomes easier and your actions align with your greater goals. This sense of purpose fuels a deeper happiness that lasts far beyond the fleeting joys of accomplishment. Physical movement is another essential component of the Stoic morning routine. The Stoics valued the health of both the mind and body, understanding that they are interconnected. Engaging in some form of physical exercise, whether it's a simple stretch, a walk, or more intense activity, prepares your body for the day ahead. Physical movement clears the mind, releases tension, and fills you with energy. When your body is in motion, it encourages mental clarity, helping you approach the day with focus and enthusiasm. This boost in energy carries over into a sense of well-being and joy that lasts throughout the day. The morning is also the ideal time to engage in self-reflection. Taking a few moments to meditate or practice deep breathing calms the mind and creates a sense of peace. The Stoics often practiced silence in the morning, using this time to connect with their inner selves. This quiet reflection allows you to center yourself before the demands of the day take over. Silence clears mental clutter, making space for clarity and joy. By beginning the day with stillness, you create a mental environment where happiness can thrive, regardless of external events. Another vital practice in the Stoic morning routine is reviewing your goals and progress. This isn't about obsessing over what you haven't done, but about acknowledging the steps you've taken toward personal growth. Reviewing your goals each morning keeps you aligned with your long-term vision and prevents you from drifting through the day without purpose. By taking this time to reflect on your progress, you foster a sense of achievement that contributes to your overall happiness. It also provides the motivation to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges you may face. Stoic mornings are built on the idea of simplicity. Instead of overloading yourself with tasks or distractions, focus on what is essential. Begin the day with what matters most, your mental and physical well-being. This approach not only reduces stress, but also enhances your ability to enjoy the present moment. When your morning is free from unnecessary distractions, you can savor each moment fully. Simplicity brings clarity, and with clarity comes a deep sense of contentment. By prioritizing what truly matters, you open the door to lasting happiness. Embracing the concept of impermanence is another important element of a Stoic morning. The Stoics often reminded themselves that everything, including life itself, is temporary. This may seem like a grim thought at first, but it actually leads to a deeper appreciation for the present. By acknowledging the impermanence of things, you become more mindful of the moments that might otherwise be taken for granted. This awareness infuses your day with gratitude and joy as you come to cherish each experience, knowing that nothing is permanent. The Stoics also practiced visualizing the day ahead. They mentally rehearsed how they would respond to potential challenges, preparing themselves for whatever might come. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, allows you to face the day with confidence and resilience. By envisioning how you'll handle difficult situations, you reduce the likelihood of being caught off guard. This mental preparedness fosters a sense of calm and control, which contributes to your overall happiness. When you are ready for whatever the day brings, you approach life with a sense of ease and joy. Incorporating moments of learning into your morning is another powerful way to set the tone for a joyful day. Whether it's reading a few pages from a book, reflecting on a Stoic teaching, or listening to an insightful podcast, starting your day with knowledge enriches your mind. The Stoics valued continuous learning, seeing it as a path to wisdom and fulfillment. By dedicating time to learning each morning, you stimulate your mind and nurture your personal growth. This practice not only sharpens your intellect, but also brings a sense of purpose and satisfaction. A mindful breakfast is another component of a Stoic morning routine. Eating with awareness, rather than rushing through your meal, allows you to fully experience the nourishment you're giving your body. The Stoics believed in moderation and mindfulness in all things, including food. By eating slowly and with gratitude, you create a sense of peace and satisfaction that carries into the rest of the day. This simple act of mindfulness during your first meal sets the stage for a day rooted in appreciation and calm. One of the most profound aspects of the Stoic morning is the practice of detachment. Detachment isn't about avoiding life's experiences, but rather about not clinging to them. The Stoics believed that by releasing attachment to outcomes, you free yourself from disappointment and stress. This mental practice is particularly important in the morning, as it allows you to enter the day without expectations. When you detach from how things should be, you open yourself to the joy of experiencing life as it is. This mindset creates a sense of peace that enhances your happiness throughout the day. Connecting with nature is another important element of a Stoic morning routine. Whether it's stepping outside for a breath of fresh air or simply sitting by a window to watch the sunrise, nature has a grounding effect. The Stoics often look to nature for wisdom, understanding that its rhythms reflect the cycles of life. By spending time in nature each morning, you reconnect with the simplicity and beauty of the world around you. This connection fosters a sense of peace and wonder, which can uplift your mood and bring joy. Another key practice is starting your day with acceptance. The Stoics taught that accepting things as they are, rather than wishing for them to be different, is crucial to maintaining inner peace. In the morning, this means accepting the day ahead, whatever it may bring. By embracing the uncertainty of life, you reduce resistance and create a sense of flow. This acceptance fosters resilience and happiness because you are no longer fighting against reality. Instead, you are moving with it, allowing yourself to experience joy in every moment. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of acting with purpose throughout the day. In the morning, take a moment to decide how you will bring meaning to your actions, whether it's through work, relationships, or personal growth. Acting with purpose creates a sense of fulfillment. When your actions align with your values, they contribute to your overall sense of happiness. This intention to live purposefully in the small moments of the day brings a deeper sense of satisfaction and joy. The morning is also an ideal time to practice self-discipline. The Stoics believed that happiness comes from mastering the self, not from external pleasures. By practicing discipline in your morning routine, whether it's through exercise, meditation, or work, you build inner strength. This self-mastery brings a sense of accomplishment and confidence, which enhances your overall happiness. Discipline is not about restriction, but about making choices that align with your highest values. This alignment creates a sense of integrity and joy. Another aspect of the Stoic morning routine is reflection on virtue. The Stoics believed that living a virtuous life is the path to true happiness. Each morning, consider how you can embody the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in your day. This reflection serves as a guide for your actions and decisions, helping you live in a way that brings both personal satisfaction and contributes to the greater good. By focusing on virtue, you create a sense of purpose and fulfillment that enhances your happiness. Stoic mornings also emphasize the importance of emotional regulation. Instead of being reactive to the world around you, practice controlling your emotions through mindfulness and reflection. The morning is a time to strengthen your emotional resilience, preparing yourself to respond to challenges with calmness and clarity. By mastering your emotions in the morning, you carry that strength into the rest of the day. This emotional control is key to maintaining happiness because it allows you to stay grounded no matter what unfolds. Another important practice in the Stoic morning routine is reviewing the principles of Stoicism itself. Whether it's reflecting on the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, or Seneca, starting your day with wisdom strengthens your mind. The Stoics believed that wisdom is the key to happiness, as it helps you navigate life's complexities with clarity and purpose. By revisiting these teachings each morning, you remind yourself of what truly matters, setting the stage for a day rooted in peace and joy. Finally, ending your morning routine with a moment of silence or stillness brings everything together. This final pause before stepping into the day allows you to absorb the peace and clarity you've cultivated. It's a chance to center yourself one last time, ensuring that you carry the lessons of your morning with you into whatever challenges or joys the day may bring. This moment of stillness grounds you in the present, preparing you to face the day with calm, confidence, and happiness. As you've embraced the power of a Stoic morning routine to begin your day with joy and purpose, the real test of Stoic wisdom comes when life's challenges arise. It's easy to feel calm and happy when everything goes smoothly, but the true measure of inner peace is how you respond when life throws obstacles your way. Stoicism offers profound strategies to help you stay grounded, calm, and happy, no matter the circumstances. These strategies guide you through adversity with grace, ensuring that no matter how turbulent life becomes, your inner peace remains untouched. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is acceptance. Life is unpredictable, and many things are beyond your control. When difficulties arise, the immediate response is often resistance, wishing things were different, hoping for a quick fix. But Stoicism teaches that peace comes from accepting reality as it is, rather than fighting against it. This acceptance isn't about giving up or being passive. It's about acknowledging the present moment fully. By accepting what is, you free your mind from unnecessary stress and open yourself to finding solutions with clarity and calm. Another key strategy is shifting your focus to what you can control. In moments of chaos, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the things that are outside your influence. The Stoics emphasized that the only thing you truly have control over is your own mind, your thoughts, reactions, and decisions. When you place your energy on what you can control instead of what you can't, you empower yourself. This simple shift brings a sense of calm because it directs your attention to where you can make a difference rather than worrying about the uncontrollable. Perspective is everything when facing life's challenges. Often, what feels overwhelming in the moment can be seen differently with time or distance. The Stoics believed in the power of viewing challenges from a broader perspective. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? By zooming out, you diffuse the intensity of the problem and remind yourself that most challenges are temporary. This practice helps you remain calm as you understand that difficulties are often fleeting and not as catastrophic as they first appear. Emotions can easily take over during tough times, but Stoicism teaches that emotions are not inherently bad. They're part of the human experience. What matters is how you respond to them. Instead of being swept away by anger, frustration, or sadness, the Stoics encouraged observing your emotions without judgment. By creating a space between your feelings and your actions, you gain control. This awareness allows you to choose your response calmly rather than reacting impulsively. In doing so, you maintain your peace even in emotionally charged situations. Another important Stoic strategy is practicing resilience. Life will always bring challenges, but how you respond determines whether those challenges weaken or strengthen you. Stoicism teaches that every difficulty is an opportunity to grow stronger. Instead of viewing obstacles as unfair burdens, see them as chances to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. This mindset transforms hardship into a path of personal growth. When you see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, you cultivate a deep sense of calm and resilience that sustains your happiness. Gratitude is a powerful tool for maintaining happiness in the face of adversity. When life becomes difficult, it's easy to focus on what's going wrong, but Stoicism teaches the importance of appreciating what remains. By focusing on the good, even in hard times, you shift your mindset from lack to abundance. This practice doesn't ignore the pain of challenges, but balances it with an awareness of the blessings that still exist. Gratitude helps you stay connected to joy, even when life feels overwhelming, because it reminds you that not everything is lost. The Stoics also emphasize the value of patience. Often, difficulties take time to resolve, and the frustration of waiting for solutions can add to your stress. Patience allows you to remain calm, trusting that things will unfold as they should. The Stoics taught that time is a great teacher and that many problems resolve themselves if given enough space. By cultivating patience, you reduce the urgency to fix everything immediately, which brings a sense of calm and ease. This patience helps you navigate challenges without being consumed by anxiety or frustration. Another essential Stoic strategy is the concept of impermanence. The Stoics reminded themselves daily that nothing lasts forever, neither joy nor sorrow. This awareness can be incredibly comforting in difficult times because it assures you that even the hardest challenges will eventually pass. When you embrace the temporary nature of all things, you stop clinging to the present moment and instead flow with life's changes. This acceptance of impermanence brings peace, as you know that both the highs and lows of life are transient. Self-compassion is crucial during challenging times. Stoicism teaches the importance of being gentle with yourself when things don't go as planned. Instead of harshly judging yourself for mistakes or setbacks, practice understanding and forgiveness. Life's challenges are difficult enough without adding self-criticism to the mix. By treating yourself with kindness, you create an inner environment that supports healing and resilience. This self-compassion helps you stay calm and balanced, allowing you to move through adversity with grace. Another Stoic principle for staying calm is the idea of detachment from outcomes. Often, stress arises from the fear that things won't turn out the way you hoped. The Stoics believed that true peace comes from doing your best in any given situation and then letting go of the results. When you detach from the need for a specific outcome, you release the pressure of success or failure. This detachment allows you to focus on the present moment, where you have control rather than worrying about the future. In this way, you maintain a sense of calm and joy, regardless of what happens. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is reframing. When faced with adversity, ask yourself, how can this challenge serve me? By changing the narrative around difficult situations, you shift from a victim mentality to one of empowerment. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, view them as opportunities for growth. This reframing not only reduces stress, but also brings a sense of purpose to hardship. When you find meaning in your struggles, you approach them with a calm and focused mind, knowing that they are shaping you into a stronger, wiser person. Another Stoic strategy for staying calm is the practice of silence. In moments of chaos or conflict, silence allows you to step back and gather your thoughts before reacting. The Stoics valued silence as a way to gain clarity and prevent impulsive actions. By pausing before you speak or act, you create space for wisdom and calm to emerge. This simple practice can diffuse tension and bring peace to even the most difficult situations. Silence gives you the time to consider your response carefully, ensuring that you act from a place of calm rather than emotion. Stoicism also teaches the importance of community in facing challenges. While inner strength is crucial, having a support system can provide additional comfort and perspective. The Stoics valued the connections they had with others, understanding that shared wisdom and encouragement help lighten the burden of difficult times. By reaching out to others for guidance or simply to talk, you remind yourself that you are not alone. This sense of community brings warmth and comfort, helping you maintain happiness even when life feels overwhelming. Another aspect of Stoic philosophy is focusing on the present moment. Often, Stress and unhappiness come from worrying about the future or regretting the past. The Stoics believed that the only time you truly have is now. By grounding yourself in the present, you free yourself from the weight of what was or what might be. This mindfulness brings a sense of calm because it shifts your focus to what you can experience and appreciate right now. The more you practice being present, the easier it becomes to maintain peace, even during life's challenges. One of the most overlooked aspects of Stoicism is the power of self-reflection. After facing a challenge, take time to reflect on how you responded and what you learned. The Stoics believed in continuous growth and improvement, seeing every difficulty as a lesson. By reflecting on your experiences, you gain insight into your strengths and areas for improvement. This reflection fosters calm because it allows you to process your emotions and thoughts in a constructive way. It also helps you approach future challenges with greater wisdom and confidence. Resisting the urge to react immediately to difficult situations is another Stoic practice for staying calm. When faced with a challenge, the instinct may be to react impulsively, but the Stoics taught the value of measured responses. By taking a step back and allowing yourself time to think, you reduce the risk of acting out of anger or fear. This practice of restraint creates a sense of calm because you give yourself the space to respond thoughtfully. Over time, this habit leads to more peaceful interactions and decisions. Stoicism also encourages cultivating a mindset of gratitude for challenges themselves. While it may seem counterintuitive, the Stoics believed that hardship is an essential part of life and personal growth. By viewing challenges as opportunities to strengthen your character, you shift from a mindset of resistance to one of acceptance. This shift brings a sense of peace because you stop fighting against the inevitable and instead embrace the growth that comes from difficulty. In this way, even the toughest moments can become sources of happiness and fulfillment. Another Stoic practice for maintaining happiness is focusing on progress rather than perfection. When life becomes difficult, it's easy to feel discouraged by setbacks or slow progress. However, the Stoics taught that the journey of personal growth is ongoing, and every small step forward is a victory. By focusing on your progress rather than expecting perfection, you reduce the pressure to succeed immediately. This mindset brings calm because it allows you to celebrate your efforts, no matter how small, and encourages you to keep moving forward with joy. Learning to let go of control is another crucial Stoic strategy. When challenges arise, the desire to control every aspect of the situation can create stress and frustration. Stoicism teaches that while you can influence certain things, you cannot control everything. By letting go of the need to control outcomes or others, you free yourself from unnecessary anxiety. This release brings a sense of peace because you focus on what you can control, your thoughts and actions, while accepting the rest with grace. The Stoics also believed in the importance of humor, even in difficult times. Humor allows you to lighten the emotional weight of a situation and find moments of joy amidst the struggle. By not taking life too seriously, you create space for laughter, which can be a powerful tool for staying calm and happy. Humor doesn't dismiss the seriousness of challenges, but provides a way to cope with them more easily. This ability to find humor in adversity helps you maintain a sense of balance and happiness, no matter what life throws at you. As we've explored the Stoic approach to remaining calm and happy during life's challenges, it's crucial to recognize that not all difficulties come from situations. Many stem from the people we allow into our lives. Relationships are powerful, and the individuals around us have a profound influence on our mental and emotional well-being. Stoicism teaches that to protect your peace and happiness, you must be mindful of who you let into your inner circle. Sometimes, the greatest act of self-care is walking away from toxic people, no matter how difficult it may seem. Let's delve into why it's necessary to distance yourself from negative influences to build a life rooted in joy and fulfillment. Toxic relationships drain your emotional energy, often without you even realizing it. Negative people tend to create environments filled with drama, manipulation, and unnecessary conflict. Over time, these interactions chip away at your mental peace, leaving you stressed and exhausted. Stoicism teaches the importance of guarding your mind and emotions by setting boundaries. Walking away from toxic individuals is not about giving up on people, it's about protecting your well-being. When you distance yourself from negativity, you reclaim your emotional energy and create space for happiness to flourish. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is that you are responsible for your own happiness. While you can't control how others behave, you can control how you respond and whom you allow to impact your life. Toxic individuals often pull you into cycles of conflict and negativity, keeping you trapped in emotional turbulence. By removing these people from your life, you take back control of your emotional landscape. This action reinforces your power to shape your own happiness, rather than being at the mercy of others' toxic behavior. Another reason to walk away from toxic relationships is that they often encourage negative thinking patterns. When you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, manipulate, or criticize, it becomes easy to absorb those same attitudes. Stoicism teaches that your thoughts shape your reality. If you're consistently exposed to toxic influences, it's harder to maintain a positive and peaceful mindset. By cutting ties with those who drag you down, you protect your mental clarity and open yourself up to more constructive and empowering ways of thinking. Walking away from toxic people is an act of self-respect. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living according to your values and not compromising your integrity for the sake of others. Toxic individuals often pressure you to lower your standards, betray your values, or engage in behavior that doesn't align with who you truly are. When you choose to walk away, you honor your principles and protect your authenticity. This decision reinforces your sense of self-worth and strengthens your inner peace, paving the way for a happier, more fulfilling life. Toxic relationships create an atmosphere of instability and unpredictability, which can lead to heightened stress and anxiety. Stoicism teaches the importance of cultivating stability and calm within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. By removing toxic people from your life, you reduce the emotional chaos they bring and create a more peaceful environment. This stability allows you to focus on what truly matters, your own growth and happiness, without being constantly pulled into drama or conflict. Leaving behind toxic relationships also opens the door for healthier, more fulfilling connections. Stoicism teaches the value of surrounding yourself with virtuous people who inspire you to be your best self. When you walk away from toxic individuals, you make space for positive relationships to enter your life. These healthy connections nurture your well-being and contribute to your happiness, as they are built on mutual respect, support, and shared values. Letting go of negativity is often the first step toward attracting the kind of relationships that uplift and empower you. Another reason it's important to distance yourself from toxic people is that they can undermine your confidence and self-esteem. Constant criticism, manipulation, or passive-aggressive behavior can erode your sense of self-worth over time. Stoicism teaches that your value comes from within, not from the opinions of others. Walking away from toxic relationships allows you to rebuild your confidence and remind yourself of your inherent worth. You begin to rely on your own judgment and validation, rather than seeking approval from those who only bring negativity. Toxic people often thrive on creating dependence, making you feel as though you need them in your life or that leaving would cause harm. Stoicism teaches the importance of emotional independence. Walking away from these relationships frees you from unhealthy attachments and teaches you to rely on yourself for happiness and stability. Emotional independence is key to building lasting peace, as it empowers you to find joy within, rather than depending on others for your well-being. Another crucial aspect of walking away from toxic people is the opportunity it gives you to focus on personal growth. Toxic relationships often keep you stuck in negative cycles, preventing you from evolving into your best self. Stoicism teaches that life is a journey of continuous self-improvement. By cutting ties with individuals who hinder your growth, you free up mental and emotional space to focus on your own development. This shift allows you to pursue your goals and aspirations with greater clarity and motivation, leading to a more fulfilling and joyful life. Toxic relationships also distort your perception of what healthy boundaries should look like. Over time, you may become desensitized to unhealthy behaviors, normalizing actions that should never be acceptable. Stoicism teaches the importance of maintaining strong personal boundaries to protect your peace. Walking away from toxic people helps you re-establish those boundaries and reinforces your understanding of what you will and won't tolerate in relationships. This clarity strengthens your emotional resilience and allows you to build healthier, more respectful connections in the future. Walking away from toxic individuals can be incredibly challenging, especially if they have been a significant part of your life for a long time. However, Stoicism teaches that difficult decisions are often necessary for personal well-being. Just as a gardener must prune away dead branches for a tree to thrive, you must remove toxic relationships to grow and flourish. Though the process may be painful at first, it ultimately leads to a life that is more peaceful, joyful, and aligned with your true self. Another reason to walk away from toxic people is that they often fuel feelings of guilt or shame, making you feel responsible for their emotions or actions. Stoicism teaches that you are not responsible for the behavior of others. You are only responsible for your own actions and reactions. By stepping away from these relationships, you free yourself from the weight of unnecessary guilt and allow yourself to live more authentically. This release brings a sense of relief and helps you reconnect with your inner happiness. Toxic relationships can also cause you to lose sight of your own needs and priorities. When you're constantly dealing with someone else's negativity or demands, it's easy to neglect your own well-being. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-care and staying true to your values. Walking away from toxic individuals gives you the space to focus on what truly matters to you: your happiness, growth, and peace of mind. By prioritizing your needs, you create a life that is more fulfilling and aligned with your purpose. Leaving toxic relationships is also an act of courage. It requires you to face the discomfort of change and the fear of the unknown. However, Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from facing challenges head-on and trusting in your ability to navigate them. By walking away from toxic people, you demonstrate courage and resilience, proving to yourself that you have the power to shape your own life. This act of bravery not only protects your happiness, but also strengthens your inner resolve, helping you face future challenges with confidence. Toxic individuals often bring out the worst in you, triggering anger, frustration, or sadness. Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control external events or people, you can control your reactions. By walking away from toxic relationships, you remove the triggers that lead to negative emotions, This act of distancing yourself helps you maintain emotional equilibrium and respond to life's challenges with greater calm and clarity. Protecting your emotional state in this way leads to a more peaceful and happy existence. One of the most important reasons to walk away from toxic people is that they limit your potential. Their negativity and lack of support can hold you back from pursuing your dreams or taking risks that would lead to personal growth. Stoicism teaches the importance of living with purpose and striving for excellence in all areas of life. By removing toxic influences, you free yourself to pursue your goals without the burden of negativity weighing you down. This freedom allows you to reach your full potential and experience a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness. Walking away from toxic individuals also helps you build resilience. When you distance yourself from people who drain your energy or cause you harm, you develop the strength to protect your peace and well-being. Stoicism teaches that resilience is a key component of happiness because it allows you to face adversity without being overwhelmed by it. By choosing to walk away from toxic relationships, you build emotional resilience and reinforce your ability to maintain happiness even in difficult circumstances. Another aspect of walking away from toxic people is that it allows you to break free from toxic patterns of behavior. Often, toxic relationships involve unhealthy dynamics that are difficult to escape while you're still involved. Stoicism teaches that recognizing and changing harmful patterns is essential for personal growth. By removing yourself from these relationships, you create the space needed to reflect on and change those patterns. This self-awareness leads to greater emotional health and helps you build healthier relationships moving forward. Toxic relationships often prevent you from fully embracing joy. The constant negativity, conflict, or manipulation can cloud your ability to appreciate the good things in life. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of cultivating joy and gratitude, regardless of external circumstances. By walking away from toxic individuals, you clear the emotional clutter that blocks your happiness. This newfound clarity allows you to experience and appreciate life's joys more fully, leading to a deeper sense of contentment and peace. Removing toxic people from your life also helps you cultivate a more positive mindset. When you are no longer surrounded by negativity, you can focus on building thoughts and habits that support your happiness. Stoicism teaches that a positive mindset is key to living a fulfilling life, as your thoughts shape your reality. By choosing to distance yourself from those who bring negativity into your life, you create an environment that fosters positive thinking and emotional well-being. This shift in mindset allows you to approach life with optimism and joy. Another reason to walk away from toxic people is that they often block your ability to see things clearly. Their manipulative or critical behavior can distort your perception of reality, making it difficult to trust your own judgment. Stoicism teaches the importance of wisdom and clarity in navigating life. By removing toxic influences, you gain a clearer perspective on yourself and your life, allowing you to make decisions with greater confidence and wisdom. This clarity brings a sense of peace and security, knowing that you are living in alignment with your true self. In the end, walking away from toxic people is about reclaiming your happiness. It's about choosing to live in a way that supports your peace, growth, and fulfillment, rather than allowing others to dictate your emotional state. Stoicism teaches that happiness is an internal state, one that you have the power to protect and cultivate. By distancing yourself from those who disrupt your peace, you create the space needed to nurture your joy and build a life rooted in happiness. Having understood the importance of removing toxic influences from your life to protect your peace and happiness, The next step is learning how to quietly invite happiness into your daily life. Happiness isn't something loud or demanding. It often arrives in the smallest, most subtle moments. Stoic wisdom provides powerful yet understated tools that, when practiced regularly, naturally attract more joy and fulfillment. These secrets are not grand gestures, but gentle shifts in perspective and action that slowly but steadily transform your life. Let's explore the ways Stoicism teaches you to cultivate happiness in silence, allowing it to flow into your daily experience with ease. One of the most profound Stoic teachings is the idea of focusing on what you can control. This simple mindset shift transforms the way you navigate life's ups and downs. By placing your attention on the things within your power, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of worrying about what others do or what might happen. This control over your own mind is liberating and creates a sense of calm and contentment. It's a quiet happiness, one that doesn't depend on external validation or outcomes, but comes from the knowledge that you are in control of your inner world. Another subtle but powerful Stoic practice is embracing simplicity. In a world that constantly pushes us to accumulate more, do more, and be more, Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from needing less. By simplifying your desires and focusing on what truly matters, you reduce stress and free yourself from the endless pursuit of external rewards. This doesn't mean living in deprivation, but learning to appreciate the abundance in what you already have. The joy that arises from simplicity is quiet, yet deeply fulfilling, because it comes from within rather than from fleeting pleasures. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of practicing gratitude. Each day offers countless opportunities to pause and reflect on the things you're grateful for, no matter how small. This habit shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, creating a sense of abundance. Gratitude doesn't need to be expressed loudly or publicly. It's a private, personal reflection that nourishes your inner happiness. The more you practice gratitude in silence, the more you attract a deep, lasting joy that isn't dependent on external circumstances. Another Stoic secret to silently attracting happiness is the practice of mindfulness. By being fully present in each moment, you open yourself to the beauty and richness of life that often goes unnoticed. Mindfulness allows you to experience life as it unfolds, without being distracted by worries about the future or regrets about the past. This calm presence brings a quiet joy as you become more aware of the small, everyday pleasures that surround you. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your face or the taste of a simple meal, mindfulness deepens your appreciation for life's details, quietly enhancing your happiness. The Stoics also taught the power of acceptance. Much of our unhappiness comes from resisting what is, wishing things were different than they are. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or giving up on change. It means recognizing reality for what it is and responding to it with wisdom and grace. By accepting the things you cannot change, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. This inner peace attracts happiness because it allows you to move through life with less friction, embracing each moment as it comes. Another quiet source of happiness is found in detachment from outcomes. In a world that often measures success by results, Stoicism teaches the value of focusing on the process rather than the outcome. By doing your best and letting go of the need for specific results, you release the pressure that often accompanies ambition. This detachment allows you to experience the joy of the present moment without being consumed by anxiety about the future. It's a quiet form of happiness that grows from knowing you've done your best, regardless of the outcome. Stoicism also encourages us to practice compassion, both toward others and ourselves. Compassion doesn't need to be a grand display. It can be as simple as offering a kind word or extending patience during a difficult situation. By treating others with empathy and understanding, you cultivate an environment of warmth and connection. This practice silently attracts happiness because it strengthens your relationships and fosters a sense of belonging. Likewise, showing compassion to yourself, especially during moments of failure or hardship, creates a softer, more forgiving inner dialogue which nurtures your sense of peace and joy. Living with intention is another Stoic secret to attracting happiness. When you approach each day with a clear sense of purpose, you create a life filled with meaning and direction. Intention doesn't have to be something grand. It can be as simple as deciding to be kind, to work diligently, or to enjoy the present moment. This focus on living purposefully ensures that your actions align with your values, which brings a deep, quiet satisfaction. Happiness is often found in the consistent, intentional choices we make each day, guiding us toward a more fulfilling life. The practice of self-discipline is another quiet way Stoicism helps attract happiness. While discipline may not seem like a path to joy at first glance, the freedom it brings is undeniable. By practicing restraint and focus, you gain control over your impulses, which leads to a sense of accomplishment and inner peace. Whether it's controlling your temper, sticking to a healthy habit, or dedicating time to personal growth, self-discipline creates a stable foundation for happiness. It's a subtle but powerful joy that comes from knowing you are the master of your actions, not at the mercy of fleeting desires. One of the most overlooked Stoic practices is the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and experiences. This simple practice helps you learn from your mistakes and celebrate your successes. By reflecting on your day, you gain clarity and insight, which helps you grow and improve. This quiet, internal process builds a deeper sense of fulfillment as you become more in tune with your inner self. Reflection allows you to understand your emotions and thoughts better, guiding you toward greater peace and happiness. Another quiet yet profound Stoic principle is the idea of embracing impermanence. Everything in life, from material possessions to relationships, is temporary. By accepting this truth, you stop clinging to things that are beyond your control. This acceptance creates a deep sense of peace as you learn to enjoy the present moment without fearing loss or change. Happiness flows more easily when you're not weighed down by attachment, and Stoicism teaches that embracing impermanence opens you to a more fluid, adaptable way of living. Practicing resilience is another way Stoicism helps silently attract happiness. Life is filled with challenges and setbacks, but how you respond to them determines your overall sense of well-being. Stoicism teaches that resilience is not about avoiding difficulty, but about facing it with strength and grace. By cultivating resilience, you build the emotional strength to bounce back from hardship, which fosters a quiet but enduring sense of happiness. This resilience brings a calm confidence, knowing that no matter what life throws your way, you have the inner strength to handle it. Another Stoic secret to happiness is finding contentment in simplicity. When you strip away the distractions and excess, you are left with what truly matters. Contentment doesn't come from having more, but from needing less. The Stoics understood that by appreciating the simple pleasures in life, a peaceful moment, a good conversation, a nourishing meal, you create space for joy to grow. This contentment is quiet, yet it fills your life with a sense of abundance that isn't dependent on material wealth or external achievements. A deep source of Stoic happiness comes from aligning your actions with your values. When your daily choices reflect your core beliefs, you live with integrity. This integrity fosters a deep, inner sense of peace because you are living authentically. There is no need for external approval or validation when you know you are acting in accordance with your values. This quiet confidence attracts happiness because it grounds you in a life of purpose and meaning, free from the need to impress or conform to others' expectations. Another Stoic practice that silently attracts happiness is learning to let go of the past. Dwelling on past mistakes, regrets, or missed opportunities keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity. Stoicism teaches that the past is beyond your control and that the only thing you can influence is the present. By releasing the emotional hold of the past, you free yourself to live fully in the now. This release creates a sense of lightness and joy as you no longer carry the burden of what can't be changed. The present becomes a space where happiness can thrive. Stoicism also encourages cultivating patience. In a fast-paced world where instant gratification is often prioritized, patience is a rare and valuable virtue. By practicing patience, whether with yourself, others, or the process of life, you develop a sense of calm and ease. This patience helps you stay grounded, even when things don't go as planned, and allows you to experience joy without rushing toward the next achievement. Happiness is often found in the moments of waiting, when you learn to trust the flow of life and appreciate the journey, rather than focusing solely on the destination. Another Stoic secret to attracting happiness is learning to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Life is full of difficulties, but Stoicism teaches that these challenges are not obstacles, but stepping stones toward personal development. When you view challenges through the lens of growth, you shift from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. This shift brings a sense of satisfaction and joy because you begin to see every setback as a chance to strengthen your resilience and character. Challenges become less daunting, and happiness becomes more accessible when you approach life with this perspective. Stoicism also teaches the value of self-awareness. By taking time to understand your thoughts, emotions, and motivations, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself. This self-awareness helps you make more mindful decisions, leading to a life that is more aligned with your true desires. The clarity that comes from self-awareness brings a quiet happiness, as you are no longer swayed by external pressures or impulses. Instead, you act from a place of inner wisdom, which creates a deeper, more sustainable sense of joy. Another subtle but powerful Stoic practice is the art of forgiveness. Holding on to grudges or resentment only poisons your own happiness. Stoicism teaches that forgiveness isn't about excusing others' behavior, but about freeing yourself from the emotional weight of anger. By letting go of resentment, you create space for peace and happiness to return. This forgiveness is often a quiet, internal process, but its impact on your well-being is profound. It allows you to move forward without the burden of past hurts, opening the door to greater joy. The Stoics also believed in the power of purpose. Living with a sense of purpose brings a deep, quiet happiness because it gives meaning to your actions. When you have a clear sense of why you're doing what you're doing, every task, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to fulfill that purpose. This purpose-driven living attracts happiness because it aligns your actions with your deeper values, creating a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond momentary pleasures. It's a lasting joy that comes from knowing you're contributing to something greater than yourself. Another Stoic secret to attracting happiness is practicing emotional regulation. Emotions are a natural part of life, but when left unchecked, they can overwhelm you. Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control what emotions arise, you can control how you respond to them. By practicing emotional regulation, you maintain your inner peace, even in the face of strong feelings. This ability to stay calm and centered amidst emotional turmoil attracts happiness because it prevents you from being swept away by negative emotions. You remain grounded, capable of experiencing joy even during challenging times. Finally, Stoicism teaches that happiness comes from living in harmony with nature. This isn't just about connecting with the natural world, but about understanding and accepting the natural flow of life. Everything in the universe has its course, and when you align yourself with this flow, rather than resisting it, you find peace. Living in harmony with nature means embracing the cycles of life, birth, growth, death, and renewal, with acceptance. This alignment brings a quiet, enduring happiness because you are no longer fighting against the inevitable, but moving with the rhythm of life itself. Having explored the quiet ways Stoicism helps attract happiness daily, we now turn to one of the most profound sources of inner peace and joy: silence. In a world filled with constant noise and distraction, silence offers a rare and precious opportunity for reflection and growth. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from within, and the path to finding it often begins in the stillness of your own mind. By embracing silence, you open the door to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Let's dive into how cultivating silence and reflection can lead to a more peaceful and joyful existence. Silence provides the space to connect with your inner self. In the stillness, you can hear your true thoughts and desires without the interference of outside voices. This connection to your inner world helps you understand what truly makes you happy, rather than being influenced by external expectations or societal pressures. The more time you spend in silence, the clearer your path to happiness becomes, as you can finally distinguish between what you want and what the world tells you to pursue. Through silence, you gain clarity. The noise of everyday life often clouds your ability to think clearly, leaving you overwhelmed and scattered. But in silence, your mind has the freedom to organize and process thoughts in a more meaningful way. This clarity leads to better decisions and a deeper sense of peace, as you are no longer reacting impulsively to the chaos around you. Instead, you respond thoughtfully, grounded in the quiet wisdom that comes from reflection. Silence also allows you to become more mindful. In the absence of distractions, you can fully engage with the present moment. This mindfulness helps you appreciate the simple joys in life, things that are often overlooked when your mind is filled with noise. Whether it's the sensation of your breath, the beauty of nature, or the warmth of a loved one's presence, mindfulness deepens your experience of happiness. In silence, these moments become richer and more meaningful, bringing a quiet but profound joy. Another benefit of silence is the opportunity for self-reflection. When you step away from the noise, you create the space to examine your thoughts, actions, and emotions. This self-reflection is essential for personal growth, as it allows you to identify patterns of behavior that may be holding you back. By regularly reflecting in silence, you gain insight into yourself and your life, which helps you make changes that lead to greater happiness. This process of self-awareness is a quiet journey, but one that brings lasting fulfillment. Silence also helps you recharge emotionally and mentally. Constant noise and stimulation can drain your energy, leaving you feeling depleted and stressed. But when you embrace silence, you allow your mind and emotions to rest and reset. This replenishment is crucial for maintaining a sense of peace and happiness, as it restores your ability to approach life with calm and focus. Silence becomes a source of strength, providing the quiet space needed to regain your balance and joy. In silence, you can also confront your fears and anxieties. It's often easier to drown out uncomfortable feelings with distractions, but this only delays the inevitable. Stoicism teaches that facing your fears head-on is the path to overcoming them. In silence, you have the courage to sit with your discomfort, to explore it, and ultimately, to release it. This confrontation leads to emotional freedom, as you no longer run from your fears, but embrace them as part of your journey. In doing so, you clear the way for happiness to flow more freely into your life. Silence fosters patience, which is essential for happiness. In a fast-paced world, there's a constant pressure to act quickly and achieve instant results. But Stoicism reminds us that good things often take time, and patience is the key to experiencing them fully. Silence teaches you to slow down, to wait without anxiety, and to appreciate the unfolding of life in its own time. This patience brings a deep sense of contentment, as you learn to trust in the natural flow of events rather than forcing outcomes. The quiet joy that arises from patience is lasting and peaceful. Through silence, you can practice acceptance. When the mind is constantly filled with noise, it's difficult to accept things as they are. You're always trying to change or control situations. But in silence, you learn to sit with reality, to embrace it without resistance. This acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means recognizing that some things are beyond your control and that peace comes from letting go of the need to change them. In this acceptance, you find happiness because you are no longer fighting against the world, but flowing with it. Silence also cultivates humility. In the quiet moments of reflection, you realize that much of life is beyond your control and that true wisdom comes from recognizing your limitations. This humility is not about diminishing yourself, but about understanding your place in the grander scheme of things. When you let go of the need to be in control or to always be right, you open yourself to learning and growth. This humility brings a quiet joy, as you no longer carry the burden of trying to be perfect or all-knowing. Another way silence contributes to happiness is by helping you listen more deeply to yourself and to others. When you are not constantly filling the space with your own thoughts or words, you become more attuned to the subtle cues and emotions around you. This deeper listening strengthens your relationships, as it allows you to connect with others on a more meaningful level. The quiet understanding that comes from truly hearing someone else is a powerful source of joy, as it fosters empathy and closeness. In silence, you can also appreciate the beauty of solitude. While modern life often glorifies constant social interaction, Stoicism teaches the value of spending time alone. Solitude provides an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, to enjoy your own company, and to reflect without distraction. This quiet time alone is not about isolation, but about deepening your relationship with yourself. In solitude, you find a calm, inner happiness that is independent of others, allowing you to feel whole and complete on your own. Silence also encourages creativity. When the mind is free from the constant input of information and noise, it has the space to explore new ideas and possibilities. This creative freedom leads to moments of inspiration and insight that are often drowned out by the noise of daily life. By embracing silence, you tap into your inner well of creativity, which brings a sense of joy and fulfillment. Whether it's through art, writing, problem-solving, or simply daydreaming, creativity flourishes in the quiet, enriching your life with new perspectives and ideas. Another subtle but powerful aspect of silence is the way it enhances gratitude. When you take time to sit in silence, you become more aware of the blessings in your life. The noise and busyness of everyday life can make it easy to overlook the small things that bring joy, but in silence, those things come into focus. Whether it's the beauty of nature, the love of family, or the comfort of a peaceful home, silence allows you to reflect on and appreciate these gifts more deeply. This practice of gratitude in silence quietly nourishes your happiness. Through silence, you can also develop emotional resilience. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to become overwhelmed by the noise and chaos of difficult times. But when you cultivate silence, you create a sanctuary within yourself, a place of calm that you can return to no matter what is happening around you. This inner refuge helps you weather life's storms with greater strength and composure. The ability to remain grounded in silence, even when external circumstances are turbulent, is a profound source of peace and happiness. Silence also fosters a sense of wonder. When the noise of daily life subsides, you have the opportunity to notice the world in a new way. The quiet moments reveal the beauty and complexity of life that is often missed in the rush of activity. Whether it's the intricate patterns of a leaf, the soft sound of the wind, or the gentle rhythm of your breath, silence opens your senses to the wonder that surrounds you. This sense of awe brings a deep, quiet happiness as you reconnect with the simple yet extraordinary moments of life. In silence, you can practice self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh on yourself when you're constantly bombarded with external expectations and judgments. But in the quiet, you have the space to be kind to yourself, to acknowledge your struggles without criticism, and to offer yourself the same compassion you would extend to a friend. This practice of self-compassion in silence heals emotional wounds and fosters a deep sense of inner peace. It's a quiet happiness that comes from accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. Silence also encourages balance. In a world that often values action over reflection, silence teaches the importance of balance between doing and being. Stoicism emphasizes the need for both thoughtful action and quiet contemplation. By regularly incorporating moments of silence into your life, you maintain a healthy balance between external achievement and internal peace. This balance fosters happiness because it ensures that you are not constantly chasing after goals, but also taking time to enjoy and reflect on the journey. Through silence, you can also practice forgiveness, both of yourself and others. In the quiet space of reflection, you can release grudges, let go of resentment, and make peace with the past. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from the emotional weight of anger and hurt. In silence, this process of letting go becomes possible, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart. The peace that comes from forgiveness is quiet but powerful, bringing a sense of freedom and joy that can't be found in holding on to past wounds. Silence deepens your connection with nature. In the quiet moments, you can fully experience the natural world, the sound of birds, the rustle of leaves, the flow of water. This connection to nature brings a profound sense of peace and belonging as you realize that you are a part of something much larger than yourself. The beauty and harmony of nature reflect the Stoic belief in living in accordance with the natural order. By embracing silence and spending time in nature, you tap into a deep well of happiness that is both grounding and expansive. In silence, you also develop the ability to let go of control. Stoicism teaches that many things in life are beyond our control, and true peace comes from accepting this reality. Silence helps you practice this letting go. When you sit in stillness, you realize that you don't need to constantly be doing or fixing. Sometimes, it's enough to simply be. This release of control brings a deep sense of peace as you stop resisting the flow of life and begin to trust in its natural course. This trust fosters a quiet happiness that is not dependent on external circumstances. Finally, silence allows you to cultivate inner wisdom. In the quiet moments, free from distraction, you can hear the voice of your own intuition and inner guidance. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom comes from within, and silence is the space where that wisdom can be heard. By regularly turning inward in silence, you strengthen your connection to this inner wisdom, which helps you navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and confidence. This inner guidance is a source of profound peace and joy, as it aligns you with your true path and purpose in life. As we have seen, the power of silence fosters a deep connection with inner peace and allows you to cultivate wisdom and joy from within. But once you find that peace, it's essential to protect it from the influence of others. One of the greatest challenges in life is learning to stop letting external forces control your happiness. Stoicism teaches that true emotional independence comes from within, and no matter what happens around you, you have the power to maintain control over your own happiness. Let's dive into how Stoic principles help you take back that control and live a life where your emotional well-being is in your hands, not dictated by others. The first step in reclaiming control over your happiness is recognizing that other people's actions and opinions are beyond your control. Stoicism teaches that the only thing you have true power over is your own mind, your thoughts, reactions, and emotions. When you internalize this truth, you free yourself from the exhausting need to please others or conform to their expectations. By focusing on what you can control, your inner world, you protect your happiness from the unpredictability of external influences. Often, we allow others to dictate our happiness because we seek validation from them. Whether it's approval from a boss, a partner, or even society at large, this need for validation places your emotional well-being in someone else's hands. Stoicism teaches that your worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. When you stop seeking external validation, you gain a deeper sense of self-confidence and happiness that is unshakable. This emotional independence allows you to live authentically without worrying about how others perceive you. One of the most powerful Stoic practices for maintaining control over your happiness is the concept of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean disconnecting from life or relationships. Rather, it means releasing your emotional dependence on others' actions and reactions. When you practice detachment, you engage with the world fully, but without allowing external events to dictate your inner state. This emotional freedom creates a steady foundation for happiness, as you are no longer swayed by the ups and downs of other people's behavior. A common way others influence our happiness is through criticism or negative feedback. It's easy to feel hurt or defensive when someone criticizes you, but Stoicism teaches that the opinions of others are reflections of their own perspectives, not of your true worth. By learning to separate yourself from others' judgments, you protect your happiness. You realize that their words have no power over you unless you allow them to. This ability to remain unaffected by criticism strengthens your emotional independence and helps you maintain inner peace. Another aspect of emotional independence is letting go of the need to control how others feel about you. Often, we invest so much energy in trying to make others happy or ensuring they like us that we forget to take care of our own happiness. Stoicism teaches that you cannot control other people's emotions or opinions, and attempting to do so only leads to frustration. By releasing this need, you free yourself from the burden of constantly managing others' feelings. This creates space for you to focus on your own well-being and happiness. Expectations are another way we let others control our happiness. When we expect certain behaviors or responses from people and they don't meet those expectations, it often leads to disappointment and frustration. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of managing your own expectations and accepting people as they are. By letting go of unrealistic expectations, you stop setting yourself up for emotional pain. This acceptance allows you to interact with others without being attached to specific outcomes, which in turn preserves your happiness. The practice of emotional resilience is essential in maintaining control over your happiness. Life is unpredictable, and people will sometimes act in ways that upset or hurt you. However, Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control others, you can control how you respond. Emotional resilience is the ability to remain calm and centered, even in the face of challenging behavior from others. This inner strength allows you to stay grounded in your own peace and happiness, regardless of external circumstances. A major barrier to emotional independence is the tendency to overvalue others' opinions. Whether it's family, friends, or colleagues, their approval can sometimes seem crucial to your sense of happiness. Stoicism teaches that while feedback from others can be helpful, it should not determine your self-worth. When you stop giving excessive weight to others' opinions, you reclaim your power. Your happiness is no longer contingent on whether others approve of your choices or actions. It is rooted in your own sense of purpose and integrity. Another way others can control your happiness is through their emotional states. When someone close to you is upset or angry, it's easy to absorb their emotions and let it affect your mood. Stoicism encourages emotional boundaries, which means being compassionate without taking on the emotional burdens of others. By maintaining your own emotional space, you can offer support without sacrificing your own happiness. This balance is crucial for preserving your peace of mind and ensuring that your happiness is not constantly influenced by the emotions of those around you. Stoicism also teaches the importance of self-reliance in maintaining happiness. While relationships are valuable and can bring joy, it's essential not to rely on others for your sense of fulfillment. When you cultivate self-reliance, you develop an inner source of happiness that doesn't depend on the actions or presence of others. This independence allows you to enjoy relationships without becoming emotionally dependent on them for your happiness. You become whole on your own, and your happiness becomes something you carry with you, rather than something others give or take away. Forgiveness is another key to emotional independence. Holding on to grudges or resentment allows others to continue influencing your happiness long after the original event has passed. Stoicism teaches that forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from the emotional weight of anger and resentment. By choosing to forgive, you take back control of your happiness. You no longer allow past wrongs to dictate your emotional state, and you create space for peace and joy to return to your life. Another practice that helps prevent others from controlling your happiness is setting clear boundaries. When you allow people to overstep your boundaries, whether through disrespect or excessive demands, it can erode your sense of well-being. Stoicism teaches the importance of protecting your inner peace by setting firm boundaries. This doesn't mean shutting people out, but rather ensuring that your needs and limits are respected. Boundaries empower you to maintain control over your emotional state, creating a healthy distance between your happiness and the behavior of others. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for your own happiness. Often, we fall into the trap of blaming others for our emotional state, whether it's a difficult boss, a critical partner, or an unkind friend. But Stoicism teaches that your happiness is your responsibility. By taking ownership of your emotional well-being, you stop giving others the power to influence your happiness. This shift in mindset empowers you to make choices that support your peace and joy, rather than relying on others to create those feelings for you. Letting go of the past is another way to stop others from controlling your happiness. When you hold on to past hurts or unresolved conflicts, you allow those memories to continue influencing your present emotional state. Stoicism teaches that the past is beyond your control and that holding on to it only prevents you from moving forward. By releasing past grievances, you free yourself from the emotional chains that bind you to those experiences. This liberation allows you to focus on the present and create happiness in the here and now. Another aspect of emotional independence is learning to say no. Often, we feel pressured to say yes to others' requests or demands, even when it compromises our own happiness. Stoicism teaches the importance of aligning your actions with your values and priorities. By learning to say no when necessary, you protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. This boundary setting helps ensure that you are not overextended or drained by others' needs, allowing you to focus on what truly brings you joy. Stoicism also encourages practicing gratitude as a way to maintain control over your happiness. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you shift your attention away from the negativity or disappointments caused by others. Gratitude helps you see the abundance in your life, independent of other people's actions. This practice of focusing on the positive strengthens your emotional resilience and helps you maintain a sense of joy, no matter how others behave. Another powerful Stoic teaching is the idea of choosing your battles wisely. Not every conflict or disagreement is worth your emotional energy. By learning to discern which issues truly matter and which can be let go, you protect your peace. Stoicism teaches that it's often better to let minor irritations or slights pass without engaging in conflict. This practice of selective engagement helps you conserve your emotional resources and ensures that you don't allow others to provoke or disrupt your happiness unnecessarily. Stoicism also teaches the importance of self-awareness in maintaining emotional independence. By regularly reflecting on your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, you gain a deeper understanding of what triggers you and why. This self-awareness helps you identify when you are allowing others to influence your happiness and empowers you to make conscious choices about how to respond. The more self-aware you become, the easier it is to maintain control over your emotional state, regardless of external events. A critical component of emotional independence is learning to be content with solitude. While human connections are important, Stoicism teaches that your happiness should not rely solely on others' presence. By cultivating a sense of contentment when alone, you develop a deeper relationship with yourself and your own inner peace. This self-sufficiency allows you to enjoy the company of others without becoming dependent on them for your emotional well-being. It's a quiet but powerful form of happiness that comes from within. Another Stoic principle that helps maintain control over your happiness is the practice of accepting imperfection. People are imperfect, and expecting them to always behave in ways that align with your needs or desires sets you up for disappointment. Stoicism teaches that accepting others as they are, flaws and all, helps you manage your expectations and reduces frustration. This acceptance creates a more peaceful inner world, as you are no longer upset by others' imperfections or shortcomings. In turn, this helps you maintain your happiness, even when others fall short of your expectations. Finally, Stoicism encourages living with purpose. When you are focused on your own goals, values, and sense of purpose, you become less susceptible to the influence of others. Your happiness becomes rooted in the fulfillment of living according to your principles, rather than in how others treat you or what they think of you. This purpose-driven life creates a deep, lasting sense of joy that is not easily shaken by external events or people's actions. You become the author of your own happiness, living with intention and clarity. After learning how to maintain control over your happiness and not let others dictate your emotional state, the next challenge is dealing with rejection and failure. These experiences can feel deeply personal and painful, but Stoicism teaches that they are not the end of the road. Instead, rejection can become a powerful tool for growth and happiness if approached with the right mindset. Rather than seeing rejection as a barrier, Stoicism views it as an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Let's explore how Stoic principles can help you turn rejection into a stepping stone toward a happier and more fulfilling life. One of the first lessons Stoicism offers in the face of rejection is that it is not a reflection of your worth. When you experience rejection, it's easy to internalize the feeling, believing that you are inadequate or unworthy. Stoicism, however, teaches that rejection is merely an external event, something that happens outside of your control. It does not diminish your value as a person unless you allow it to. By separating your sense of self-worth from the opinions or decisions of others, you reclaim your power and protect your happiness from being defined by external validation. Rejection also serves as a valuable opportunity for reflection and self-improvement. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of learning from every experience, including those that are difficult or painful. When faced with rejection, instead of wallowing in disappointment, take time to reflect on what you can learn from the situation. Whether it's a job you didn't get or a relationship that didn't work out, there is always a lesson to be gleaned. This reflection allows you to grow and improve, turning the pain of rejection into a stepping stone for future success and happiness. Another way Stoicism helps transform rejection into fuel for growth is by encouraging resilience. Life is full of setbacks, and rejection is inevitable at some point. However, Stoicism teaches that true strength comes not from avoiding failure, but from rising each time you fall. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, and every rejection offers an opportunity to practice this essential skill. The more you embrace rejection as part of the journey, the stronger you become. This resilience not only makes you more capable of handling future challenges, but also fosters a deeper sense of inner happiness as you learn to trust in your ability to overcome obstacles. Stoicism also teaches that rejection can clarify your path. Sometimes, rejection is the universe's way of redirecting you towards something better suited for your growth and happiness. What may initially feel like a closed door could actually be an opportunity to reassess your goals and refocus your efforts. By viewing rejection as a guide rather than a setback, you open yourself to new possibilities that you may not have considered before. This shift in perspective allows you to see rejection as part of the process of finding what truly aligns with your purpose, ultimately leading to greater fulfillment and joy. Another important Stoic principle is the idea of detachment from outcomes. Stoicism teaches that while you should always put forth your best effort, the outcome is often beyond your control. Rejection is one of those outcomes. By detaching from the need for a specific result, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that often accompanies failure. Instead of being crushed by rejection, you can focus on what you've learned and how you've grown through the experience. This detachment allows you to maintain a sense of peace and happiness, even when things don't go as planned. Stoicism encourages the practice of gratitude, even in the face of rejection. When you're rejected, it's easy to focus on what you've lost or what didn't go right. However, Stoicism teaches that there is always something to be grateful for, even in difficult moments. By shifting your focus to what you still have and what you've gained from the experience, you can transform rejection into a moment of gratitude. This mindset helps you see the bigger picture and recognize that every experience, even the painful ones, contributes to your growth and happiness. Another key Stoic teaching is the idea of accepting things as they are, not as you wish them to be. Rejection often stems from expectations that didn't materialize. Stoicism teaches that holding on to these unmet expectations only leads to suffering. Instead, by accepting reality as it is, without resistance, you free yourself from the emotional burden of disappointment. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or settling. It means acknowledging the present moment and choosing to move forward with grace and resilience. This acceptance is a powerful tool in transforming rejection into a source of peace and strength. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of perseverance. Rejection can sometimes feel like a definitive end, but Stoicism teaches that it's merely a part of the process. Success and growth often require multiple attempts and failures. By viewing rejection as a temporary setback rather than a final judgment, you can continue to persevere in the face of adversity. This persistence not only increases your chances of eventual success, but also builds a deeper sense of fulfillment, as you realize that true growth comes from pushing through challenges, not avoiding them. Rejection also offers the opportunity to practice humility. Stoicism teaches that no one is immune to failure or disappointment, and that rejection is a natural part of life. When you embrace rejection with humility, you accept that you are not perfect and that there is always room for improvement. This mindset helps you approach life with a sense of openness and curiosity rather than defensiveness or fear. Humility allows you to grow from rejection without feeling diminished by it, leading to greater wisdom and happiness over time. Another way Stoicism helps you turn rejection into fuel for growth is by encouraging self-compassion. It's common to be hard on yourself after facing rejection, criticizing yourself for not being good enough or for failing. However, Stoicism teaches that self-compassion is essential for resilience and happiness. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding, even when things don't go your way, you create a supportive inner environment that fosters growth. Self-compassion allows you to bounce back from rejection with greater ease and to continue moving forward without being weighed down by self-criticism. Stoicism also teaches the importance of viewing challenges, including rejection, as opportunities for personal development. Every rejection forces you to confront your limitations, weaknesses, or areas where you can improve. Instead of seeing this as a negative, Stoicism encourages you to embrace these challenges as essential to your growth. By viewing rejection as a teacher, you shift from a mindset of failure to one of growth. This shift empowers you to use every setback as a stepping stone toward becoming a stronger, more capable version of yourself. The Stoic practice of reflecting on impermanence is also helpful when dealing with rejection. Rejection can feel all-consuming in the moment, but Stoicism teaches that everything in life is temporary. Just as successes don't last forever, neither do failures. By recognizing the impermanence of rejection, you can put the experience into perspective. This helps you realize that the pain of rejection will pass and new opportunities will arise. This perspective brings a sense of peace as you understand that no setback is permanent and each moment is part of a larger journey. Another aspect of Stoicism that helps turn rejection into growth is the practice of emotional regulation. Rejection can trigger strong emotions, anger, sadness, frustration, but Stoicism teaches that you are not a slave to these feelings. By practicing emotional regulation, you learn to acknowledge your emotions without letting them control you. This ability to remain calm and centered in the face of rejection helps you respond to setbacks with clarity and resilience, rather than being overwhelmed by negative emotions. Emotional regulation empowers you to move forward with a clear mind, focused on growth rather than defeat. Stoicism also encourages the cultivation of patience. Often, rejection feels painful because it delays the achievement of your goals. However, Stoicism teaches that good things take time and that patience is essential for long-term success. By embracing rejection as part of the process, you learn to be patient with yourself and with life's unfolding. This patience allows you to remain hopeful and motivated, even when progress seems slow. Over time, this mindset helps you build a deeper sense of fulfillment, as you recognize that growth and happiness come not from instant success, but from the journey itself. One of the most empowering Stoic principles is the idea that obstacles are opportunities in disguise. Rejection, while painful, often points you toward new paths or possibilities that you hadn't considered. By embracing this mindset, you can turn rejection into a catalyst for exploration and creativity. Instead of seeing the door that closed, focus on the new doors that have opened as a result. This approach not only helps you navigate rejection with greater ease, but also fosters a sense of adventure and excitement about what lies ahead. Rejection also offers an opportunity to practice letting go of ego. Much of the pain associated with rejection comes from the blow it delivers to your ego, your sense of self-importance or entitlement. Stoicism teaches that by letting go of the ego, you free yourself from the suffering caused by these feelings. When you no longer take rejection personally, it loses its power to hurt you. This detachment from ego allows you to move through life with greater ease and grace, focusing on growth and happiness rather than on protecting your sense of pride. Another Stoic strategy for turning rejection into fuel for growth is to shift your focus from external success to internal progress. Rejection often feels painful because it disrupts your external goals, whether it's getting a promotion, being accepted into a program, or winning someone's approval. However, Stoicism teaches that true success comes from within, from becoming a better version of yourself each day. By focusing on your internal progress, your character, your resilience, your wisdom, you shift away from the external markers of success and find fulfillment in your own growth. This internal focus helps you navigate rejection with a sense of purpose and peace. Rejection also provides a valuable opportunity to practice perseverance. Stoicism teaches that success is rarely achieved on the first try, and that setbacks are an inevitable part of any meaningful pursuit. By embracing rejection as a natural part of the process, you develop the perseverance needed to keep moving forward. This perseverance not only increases your chances of achieving your goals, but also strengthens your character. Over time, you become more resilient, more focused, and more capable of handling challenges, which leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness. Another key Stoic principle that helps transform rejection into growth is the practice of focusing on the present moment. Rejection often causes you to dwell on the past, what went wrong, what you could have done differently, or to worry about the future. However, Stoicism teaches that the only time you have control over is the present moment. By focusing on the present, you free yourself from the emotional weight of regret and anxiety. This shift in focus allows you to take immediate, positive action, turning rejection into an opportunity for growth in the here and now. Finally, Stoicism teaches that rejection is a reminder of your own strength and resilience. Every time you face rejection and choose to rise again, you prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming adversity. This realization strengthens your sense of self-worth and confidence, as you understand that no setback can defeat you unless you allow it to. Over time, this repeated practice of rising after rejection builds a deep, unshakable sense of inner strength. This strength becomes the foundation for a life of happiness, as you know that no matter what challenges you face, you have the power to overcome them. After exploring how rejection can fuel growth and inner strength, we now move toward a deeper understanding of one of the most profound Stoic principles: detachment. When we think about happiness, we often tie it to specific outcomes, people, or material things, believing that they hold the key to our joy. But Stoicism teaches that true happiness lies not in holding on, but in letting go. Detachment from external circumstances is the path to lasting inner peace and joy. It's a shift in mindset that frees you from the weight of expectations and allows you to live with a sense of calm, regardless of what happens around you. Detachment begins with understanding that nothing outside of yourself can permanently fulfill you. The more we attach our happiness to external things, whether it's relationships, success, or material possessions, the more vulnerable we become to disappointment. Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes from within, from a state of mind that is not dependent on external factors. When you let go of the need for things to be a certain way, you create space for a deeper, more stable sense of joy, one that isn't shaken by the unpredictability of life. One of the key aspects of detachment is learning to let go of the desire to control outcomes. So much of our stress and anxiety comes from trying to make things turn out exactly as we want. But Stoicism reminds us that while we can control our actions, the outcomes are often beyond our control. When you detach from the outcome, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes with hoping for specific results. This detachment brings peace because it allows you to focus on what you can control, your effort, your mindset, without being weighed down by fear or disappointment. Letting go of attachment to people is another important element of detachment. This doesn't mean distancing yourself emotionally from loved ones, but rather releasing the need to control or possess them. Stoicism teaches that every person is on their own path, and we cannot dictate how others will behave or feel. By detaching from the need to control relationships, you allow others the freedom to be themselves while preserving your own peace. This detachment strengthens your relationships because it removes the pressure of expectations, allowing love and connection to flourish naturally. Material things are another source of attachment that often leads to unhappiness. Society encourages the pursuit of wealth, possessions, and status as the keys to happiness, but Stoicism teaches the opposite. The more we attach our identity and worth to material things, the more we become enslaved by them. True joy comes from simplicity and contentment with what you have, rather than constantly seeking more. When you detach from the need for material possessions, you free yourself from the endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction, and you begin to appreciate the simple, enduring joys in life. Detachment also plays a crucial role in managing expectations. Often, we set high expectations for how things should unfold, whether in our careers, relationships, or personal endeavors. When reality doesn't meet these expectations, it leads to disappointment and frustration. Stoicism teaches that by letting go of rigid expectations, you open yourself to the flow of life. This flexibility allows you to remain content, even when things don't go as planned, because you're no longer attached to a specific outcome. Instead, you accept each moment as it comes, with grace and peace. Another powerful aspect of detachment is learning to let go of the past. So much of our emotional suffering comes from holding on to past mistakes, regrets, or missed opportunities. Stoicism teaches that the past is unchangeable, and clinging to it only prevents you from living fully in the present. By detaching from the past, you free yourself from its emotional grip and open yourself to the possibilities of the present moment. This release brings a profound sense of peace, as you are no longer weighed down by what has already happened, but are free to create joy in the here and now. Similarly, detachment from the future is essential for happiness. It's natural to plan and hope for certain outcomes, but Stoicism reminds us that the future is uncertain. By placing too much importance on future events, we rob ourselves of the peace and happiness available in the present. Detachment from the future means focusing on what you can do today and trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. This mindset helps you live more fully in the moment, without the anxiety or fear that often comes from worrying about what's ahead. Detachment also helps you deal with criticism and judgment from others. When we are attached to what others think of us, our happiness becomes dependent on their approval. But Stoicism teaches that other people's opinions are beyond your control, and basing your self-worth on their validation only leads to insecurity. By detaching from the need for approval, you free yourself from the emotional highs and lows of external validation. This detachment allows you to live authentically, guided by your own values and principles, rather than the shifting opinions of others. Another area where detachment brings happiness is in dealing with loss. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job, or a dream, attachment makes loss even more painful because we struggle to let go. Stoicism teaches that everything in life is temporary, and clinging to what is inevitably passing only leads to suffering. By practicing detachment, you learn to appreciate things while they last, but without becoming dependent on them for your happiness. This mindset helps you navigate loss with grace, knowing that your peace comes from within, not from external circumstances. Detachment also strengthens your ability to handle uncertainty. Life is full of unknowns, and the fear of the unknown can be paralyzing if we are attached to a sense of certainty or control. Stoicism encourages embracing the unknown with an open mind, trusting that you will handle whatever comes your way. This detachment from certainty allows you to move through life with greater ease, as you are no longer tied to the need for things to be predictable or secure. Instead, you cultivate a sense of trust in yourself and the natural flow of life, which brings a deep sense of peace and happiness. By detaching from the need for perfection, you also open yourself to more happiness. The constant striving for perfection, whether in your work, appearance, or relationships, creates pressure and dissatisfaction. Stoicism teaches that nothing in life is perfect, and by letting go of this unrealistic standard, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. Detachment from perfection allows you to appreciate progress and effort, rather than focusing on flaws or shortcomings. This shift in mindset fosters a greater sense of contentment and joy, as you learn to embrace imperfection as part of the human experience. Another way detachment fosters happiness is by freeing you from the comparison trap. When you're attached to comparing yourself to others, whether in terms of success, wealth, or happiness, you place your worth and joy outside of yourself. Stoicism teaches that comparison is futile because each person's journey is unique. By detaching from the need to measure yourself against others, you reclaim your sense of self-worth and focus on your own path. This detachment brings a deeper sense of happiness, as you no longer feel inadequate or envious, but are content with your own progress and accomplishments. Detachment also allows you to experience relationships more fully and joyfully. When you're attached to controlling or changing others, it creates tension and frustration in relationships. Stoicism teaches that each person is responsible for their own actions and choices, and by letting go of the need to control them, you create space for more authentic and harmonious connections. This detachment strengthens your relationships because it is based on mutual respect and acceptance rather than on expectations or demands. As a result, your relationships become a source of joy rather than stress or disappointment. Another powerful effect of detachment is the ability to let go of resentment. Holding on to grudges or past hurts only harms your own peace and happiness. Stoicism teaches that by practicing forgiveness and detachment from the need for revenge or justice, you free yourself from the emotional burden of resentment. This release allows you to move forward with a lighter heart, no longer weighed down by past wrongs. Forgiveness, rooted in detachment, creates space for peace and joy to return to your life, as you are no longer held captive by the actions of others. Detachment also fosters a deeper sense of gratitude. When you let go of the constant desire for more, whether it's material possessions, success, or approval, you begin to appreciate what you already have. Stoicism teaches that happiness comes not from acquiring more, but from being content with what is present. This detachment from desire allows you to fully enjoy the simple, everyday pleasures that often go unnoticed when you're focused on what's lacking. Gratitude, cultivated through detachment, brings a quiet but profound joy as you recognize the abundance that already exists in your life. Another benefit of detachment is the freedom from fear. Much of our fear stems from attachment, whether it's the fear of losing someone, failing at something, or missing out on an opportunity. Stoicism teaches that by letting go of these attachments, you free yourself from the fear that comes with them. When you are no longer afraid of losing what you cannot control, you approach life with greater courage and confidence. This fearlessness allows you to take risks, pursue your passions, and live more fully, knowing that your happiness is not dependent on any specific outcome. Detachment also enhances your ability to adapt to change. Life is constantly shifting, and clinging to the way things were only creates resistance and unhappiness. Stoicism teaches that change is inevitable, and by practicing detachment, you learn to flow with these changes rather than fight against them. This adaptability brings a sense of peace because you are no longer trying to hold on to what is fading, but are open to the new opportunities and experiences that change brings. By embracing change with detachment, you create space for more joy and growth in your life. Detachment also allows you to navigate failure with greater ease. When you're attached to the need for success, failure feels like a personal defeat. But Stoicism teaches that failure is not an endpoint. It's simply part of the process of growth. By detaching from the need to succeed in every endeavor, you free yourself from the fear of failure. This mindset allows you to take setbacks in stride, viewing them as opportunities for learning rather than as reflections of your worth. This detachment from success brings a sense of resilience and happiness, as you are no longer afraid of falling short, but are focused on growth. Another area where detachment brings happiness is in letting go of attachment to time. We often feel pressured by time, whether it's the sense of running out of time to achieve certain goals or the feeling that we're behind in life. Stoicism teaches that time is a construct, and by letting go of the need to control it, you free yourself from this pressure. Detachment from time allows you to live more fully in the present moment, appreciating the journey rather than rushing toward the next milestone. This presence brings a deep sense of peace and fulfillment, as you are no longer bound by the ticking clock. In practicing detachment, you also cultivate inner strength. When you are no longer dependent on external circumstances for your happiness, you develop a deeper sense of resilience and self-reliance. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and detachment is the path to accessing that strength. By letting go of attachment to outcomes, people, and material things, you become unshakable, capable of maintaining your peace and joy no matter what life brings. This inner strength, rooted in detachment, is the foundation for lasting happiness. Ultimately, detachment allows you to live with greater freedom. When you are no longer tethered to specific outcomes, relationships, or possessions, you are free to experience life as it unfolds, without the constant pressure to control or possess. This freedom brings a lightness to your life, as you are no longer burdened by the weight of expectations or desires. Stoicism teaches that this freedom, rooted in detachment, is the key to true happiness, as it allows you to live in harmony with yourself and the world around you, open to whatever comes your way. After understanding how detachment creates space for a more peaceful and fulfilled life, we now turn to another vital Stoic practice that deepens this sense of inner joy: gratitude. Gratitude, when practiced daily, has the power to shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from dissatisfaction to contentment. In Stoicism, gratitude is not merely a response to favorable circumstances, but a way of perceiving life, a mindset that transforms the way you experience the world. Let's explore how training your mind to be grateful can bring lasting happiness, even amidst the most challenging of times. Gratitude begins with recognizing the simple, often overlooked blessings that already exist in your life. In Stoicism, the emphasis is on finding contentment, not in the grand or extraordinary, but in the everyday. When you learn to appreciate the air you breathe, the food you eat, and the relationships you nurture, you shift your focus from what is missing to what is present. This shift in perception nurtures a deep sense of fulfillment because it reminds you that happiness is not found in what you lack, but in what you already have. One of the most powerful effects of practicing gratitude is the way it rewires your mind. The more you focus on what you are thankful for, the more your brain begins to seek out positive experiences. This is not just a mental exercise, it's a transformation in how you experience the world. When you train your mind to look for reasons to be grateful, you begin to notice the beauty and kindness that might have gone unnoticed before. Over time, this positive focus becomes a habit, making it easier to find joy in everyday life. Gratitude also helps you build resilience. Life inevitably brings hardships and challenges, but Stoicism teaches that even in difficult times, there is always something to be thankful for. Whether it's the strength you gain from overcoming adversity or the lessons learned through struggle, gratitude allows you to find meaning in hardship. This perspective doesn't negate the pain of difficult situations, but rather helps you see that growth and joy can coexist with difficulty. Gratitude strengthens your ability to endure tough times with grace, knowing that even in the darkness, there is light. Another key aspect of Stoic gratitude is the idea of appreciating impermanence. Nothing in life lasts forever, not relationships, not successes, not even struggles. By recognizing that everything is temporary, you cultivate a deeper appreciation for the present moment. This awareness encourages you to savor what you have while it's here, rather than taking it for granted. This mindfulness in the face of impermanence brings a profound sense of peace and contentment, because you stop clinging to what will inevitably change and instead focus on enjoying the moment fully. Gratitude also fosters humility, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. When you practice gratitude, you acknowledge that not everything you receive is earned or deserved. Much of life's goodness comes from factors beyond your control, whether it's the support of others, the opportunities you've been given, or even the sheer luck of being alive. This recognition fosters humility because it reminds you that you are not solely responsible for your happiness or success. Gratitude helps you remain grounded, recognizing the interconnectedness of life and the many sources of support that contribute to your well-being. One of the beautiful effects of gratitude is how it deepens your relationships. When you express appreciation for the people in your life, it strengthens the bonds you share. Stoicism teaches that we are social beings, and the quality of our relationships greatly impacts our happiness. By regularly acknowledging and expressing gratitude for the love, kindness, and support you receive, you create a cycle of positivity that nurtures your connections with others. This practice not only makes you feel more connected, but also brings joy to those around you, fostering a deeper sense of mutual happiness. Gratitude also serves as a powerful antidote to envy and comparison. In a world that constantly encourages you to compare yourself to others, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling inadequate or dissatisfied. Stoicism teaches that comparison is the thief of joy, but gratitude helps you break free from this cycle. When you focus on what you are thankful for in your own life, the desire to compare fades away. Gratitude shifts your attention from what others have to the abundance in your own life, bringing a deeper sense of contentment and happiness. Another important effect of gratitude is that it cultivates patience. Life doesn't always unfold according to our timelines, and it's easy to become frustrated or impatient when things don't go as planned. However, Stoicism teaches that gratitude for the present moment helps you stay patient. When you focus on the good that exists right now, rather than on what you are waiting for, you develop the ability to wait with grace. Gratitude teaches you to trust the process and find joy in the journey, even when the outcome is uncertain. Gratitude also helps you embrace simplicity. In a world that often equates happiness with material wealth or success, Stoicism reminds you that true joy comes from appreciating life's simple pleasures. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your face, the comfort of a quiet moment, or the laughter of a loved one, gratitude helps you recognize that the most meaningful joys are often the simplest. This mindset fosters a deep sense of peace and contentment, as you realize that happiness doesn't require grand achievements or possessions. It's found in the small moments of everyday life. Another benefit of gratitude is that it helps you release resentment and bitterness. When you hold on to grudges or dwell on past hurts, it's difficult to experience happiness. Stoicism teaches that gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained from past challenges helps you let go of negative emotions. By focusing on what you've gained rather than what you've lost, you free yourself from the emotional weight of resentment. This release creates space for peace and joy to return, as you no longer carry the burden of bitterness. Gratitude also encourages self-compassion. In moments of self-doubt or failure, it's easy to be harsh on yourself. However, Stoicism teaches that by practicing gratitude for your own efforts, resilience and growth, you foster a kinder relationship with yourself. Gratitude helps you recognize that you are doing your best, even when things don't go perfectly. This self-compassion brings a sense of inner peace, as you learn to appreciate your own journey rather than criticizing yourself for perceived shortcomings. Another aspect of gratitude that brings lasting happiness is its ability to shift your focus from scarcity to abundance. Stoicism teaches that much of our dissatisfaction comes from focusing on what we lack rather than on what we have. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to see the abundance in your life. This shift in perspective creates a feeling of richness and fulfillment, even if your external circumstances remain the same. Gratitude helps you realize that you have enough, and this sense of sufficiency brings a deep, lasting happiness. Gratitude also enhances your ability to cope with change. Life is full of transitions, some welcome, others unexpected. Stoicism teaches that change is inevitable, but gratitude helps you navigate these transitions with greater ease. When you focus on what you are thankful for, even during times of change, you maintain a sense of stability and peace. Gratitude reminds you that there is always something to hold on to, even as the world around you shifts. This practice helps you adapt to change with grace, finding joy in new beginnings rather than clinging to the past. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to shift your focus from external circumstances to internal peace. Stoicism teaches that happiness comes not from what happens to you, but from how you perceive it. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to find joy in any situation, regardless of external events. This shift in focus allows you to maintain a sense of happiness and contentment, even when life doesn't go as planned. Gratitude empowers you to create your own happiness from within, independent of what's happening around you. Gratitude also fosters a sense of purpose. When you regularly reflect on what you are thankful for, you gain clarity about what truly matters in your life. Stoicism teaches that living in alignment with your values and purpose is key to lasting happiness. Gratitude helps you identify the people, activities, and experiences that bring you the most joy and fulfillment. This clarity allows you to prioritize what is most important, leading to a more intentional and purposeful life. As you focus on what truly matters, you cultivate a deeper sense of meaning and happiness. Another way gratitude transforms your life is by helping you embrace the present moment. In a world that often encourages us to focus on the future, our goals, plans, and ambitions, Stoicism reminds us that true happiness is found in the here and now. Gratitude anchors you in the present, reminding you to appreciate the beauty and richness of this moment. Whether it's a quiet morning, a conversation with a friend, or a simple meal, gratitude helps you savor life's experiences as they unfold. This presence brings a deep sense of joy as you learn to fully engage with the moments that make up your life. Gratitude also enhances your ability to find joy in service. Stoicism teaches that one of the greatest sources of happiness is contributing to the well-being of others. When you practice gratitude, you naturally become more aware of the ways you can give back. Whether it's through acts of kindness, supporting a friend, or helping a stranger, gratitude opens your heart to the joy of service. This selflessness not only brings happiness to others, but also deepens your own sense of fulfillment as you recognize the impact of your actions on the world around you. Another benefit of gratitude is its ability to reduce stress. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you shift your mind away from worry and anxiety. Stoicism teaches that much of our stress comes from fearing what we cannot control, but gratitude helps you focus on what is going well in your life. This shift in perspective calms your mind and reduces the intensity of stress. By regularly practicing gratitude, you create a mental habit of focusing on the positive, which helps you navigate life's challenges with greater ease and peace. Gratitude also helps you cultivate patience and trust in the timing of life. When you are grateful for where you are right now, you stop rushing toward the next milestone or achievement. Stoicism teaches that life unfolds in its own time, and gratitude helps you embrace that truth. By focusing on the present and appreciating the journey, you develop a sense of trust that everything will come together in due time. This patience brings a deeper sense of peace and contentment. as you no longer feel the need to push or force outcomes. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for overcoming adversity. Stoicism teaches that life will inevitably bring difficulties, but gratitude helps you find strength in the face of hardship. When you focus on what you still have, even in the midst of loss or struggle, you build resilience. This perspective doesn't ignore the pain or difficulty, but helps you find hope and positivity even in dark times. Gratitude transforms adversity into an opportunity for growth, as you learn to appreciate the lessons and strength that come from overcoming challenges. Another way gratitude enhances happiness is by fostering a sense of acceptance. Stoicism teaches that much of our suffering comes from resisting reality, wishing things were different than they are. Gratitude helps you accept the present moment as it is, without trying to change or control it. This acceptance brings peace, because you are no longer fighting against what is. Instead, you focus on the good that exists within the present circumstances, no matter how imperfect they may be. This mindset creates a foundation for lasting happiness as you learn to find joy in reality, not in fantasy. Gratitude also deepens your connection to nature. Stoicism emphasizes living in harmony with the natural world, and gratitude helps you appreciate the beauty and wisdom of nature. Whether it's the changing seasons, the growth of a plant, or the quiet stillness of the night, gratitude helps you recognize the simple yet profound gifts that nature offers. This connection to nature fosters a sense of peace and awe, as you realize that you are part of something much larger than yourself. Gratitude for nature brings a sense of belonging and harmony, which contributes to a deeper, more enduring happiness. In practicing gratitude, you also cultivate a sense of optimism. Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. Gratitude helps you focus on the positive, even in difficult situations, fostering a sense of hope and optimism. This optimism doesn't deny the reality of challenges, but helps you maintain a balanced perspective, seeing the good alongside the bad. This optimistic outlook makes it easier to navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of peace and joy, as you trust that there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude also nurtures inner peace by helping you let go of the need for more. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes not from having more, but from wanting less. When you practice gratitude, you learn to appreciate what you have rather than constantly seeking more. This shift in focus brings a sense of contentment and sufficiency, as you realize that you already have enough. This inner peace, rooted in gratitude, creates a foundation for lasting happiness, as you no longer feel the need to chase after external things to feel fulfilled. Finally, gratitude helps you cultivate a deeper sense of purpose. When you regularly reflect on what you are thankful for, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. Stoicism teaches that living in alignment with your values and purpose is the key to lasting happiness. Gratitude helps you identify the people, activities, and experiences that bring you the most joy and fulfillment. As you focus on what truly matters, you create a life that is rich in meaning and purpose, leading to a deeper, more enduring sense of happiness. After exploring how gratitude transforms your life and brings lasting happiness, we now move to an essential aspect of Stoic philosophy, finding happiness and self-worth without the need for external validation. Many people are trapped in the cycle of seeking approval from others, believing that their worth depends on how they are perceived. Stoicism teaches that true confidence and happiness come from within, not from the fleeting opinions of others. Let's dive into how you can break free from the need for external validation and build a strong sense of self-worth, rooted in Stoic wisdom. The first step in freeing yourself from external validation is recognizing that other people's opinions are beyond your control. Stoicism teaches that the only things you have true power over are your thoughts, actions, and reactions. The judgments and approval of others fall outside of that sphere. When you internalize this truth, you release the emotional burden of trying to please everyone or live up to their expectations. This shift in focus allows you to concentrate on what truly matters, your own values and integrity, rather than chasing after validation from others. When you seek approval from others, you give them control over your emotional state. Stoicism teaches that this dependence on external validation makes you vulnerable to disappointment and self-doubt. By shifting your focus inward, you reclaim your power. Your self-worth no longer fluctuates based on the praise or criticism of others. Instead, it is grounded in your own principles and actions. This inner confidence creates a stable foundation for happiness, one that cannot be easily shaken by outside opinions. Building self-worth without external validation requires cultivating a deep sense of self-acceptance. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of knowing and accepting yourself as you are, with both strengths and flaws. When you stop seeking approval from others, you can fully embrace your true self, rather than trying to mold yourself into what you think others want. This self-acceptance brings a profound sense of peace, because you no longer need to perform or prove yourself to anyone. You can live authentically, guided by your own values and inner wisdom. Another key to breaking free from external validation is understanding that no one's opinion defines your worth. Stoicism teaches that other people's judgments are often shaped by their own experiences, biases, and perspectives. These opinions say more about them than they do about you. By detaching from the need for others to approve of or validate you, you free yourself from the emotional highs and lows that come with seeking praise or avoiding criticism. Your worth is intrinsic and does not depend on the changing opinions of others. When you stop relying on external validation, you also liberate yourself from the pressure of comparison. The habit of comparing yourself to others is rooted in the desire for approval, as you measure your worth against societal standards or the achievements of others. Stoicism teaches that each person's path is unique, and comparison is both futile and damaging. By focusing on your own journey and letting go of the need to compare, you build a deeper sense of self-confidence and happiness, rooted in your own progress rather than in how you measure up to others. Another powerful Stoic practice for cultivating self-worth is reflecting on your own values. When you are clear about your values, what truly matters to you, you can live in alignment with them, regardless of whether others approve. This alignment brings a sense of integrity and fulfillment, as you know that you are living authentically. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes not from external success or recognition, but from living according to your principles. This inner alignment strengthens your sense of self-worth, as you are no longer swayed by external validation, but are grounded in your own moral compass. Letting go of the need for external validation also helps you cultivate emotional independence. Stoicism teaches that while relationships and connections are important, your happiness should not be dependent on the approval or affection of others. By building a strong relationship with yourself, you create a source of happiness that is independent of outside circumstances. This emotional independence allows you to engage with others from a place of strength and self-assurance, rather than seeking their approval or validation. As a result, your relationships become more fulfilling because they are based on mutual respect, not on a need for validation. Another Stoic principle that helps break the cycle of external validation is understanding the impermanence of praise and criticism. Stoicism teaches that both praise and blame are temporary and often fleeting. When you rely on external validation for your happiness, you become vulnerable to the ever-changing opinions of others. By detaching from the need for praise, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of approval and criticism. This detachment brings a deeper sense of inner peace, as your self-worth is no longer tied to the fleeting judgments of others. Building self-worth without external validation also involves embracing your imperfections. Stoicism teaches that perfection is neither achievable nor necessary for happiness. When you let go of the need to be perfect in order to receive approval, you free yourself from unrealistic standards. This acceptance of your imperfections allows you to grow and improve without the pressure of needing to be flawless. It also strengthens your self-confidence as you learn to value yourself for who you are, rather than for how perfectly you meet others' expectations. When you stop seeking validation from others, you also become more resilient in the face of criticism. Stoicism teaches that criticism is an inevitable part of life, but it does not have to undermine your sense of self-worth. By viewing criticism as feedback rather than a judgment of your character, you can use it as an opportunity for growth without internalizing it. This resilience allows you to maintain your confidence and happiness even in the face of negative opinions, as you understand that your worth is not defined by others' perceptions. Another aspect of breaking free from external validation is learning to trust yourself. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom comes from within, and by trusting your own judgment, you build a stronger sense of self-worth. When you constantly seek approval from others, you undermine your own ability to make decisions and trust your instincts. By cultivating self-trust, you become more confident in your choices and actions, knowing that your worth is not dependent on whether others agree with or validate your decisions. Letting go of external validation also helps you develop a more compassionate relationship with yourself. Stoicism teaches that self-compassion is essential for growth and happiness. When you stop seeking approval from others, you can focus on being kind and understanding toward yourself, especially in moments of failure or difficulty. This self-compassion strengthens your sense of self-worth because it allows you to treat yourself with the same kindness and respect that you would offer to a friend. As a result, you build a deeper, more lasting sense of happiness that comes from within. Breaking free from the need for external validation also allows you to take more risks. When you are no longer concerned with whether others will approve of your actions, you feel more empowered to pursue your passions and goals. Stoicism teaches that living authentically requires courage, and by letting go of the fear of judgment, you create space for greater creativity and growth. This sense of freedom allows you to explore new opportunities and experiences without being held back by the need for external approval. This courage to take risks leads to a more fulfilling and joyful life. Another benefit of building self-worth without external validation is that it allows you to focus on your own definition of success. Stoicism teaches that true success is not measured by external achievements or accolades, but by living in accordance with your values. When you stop seeking validation from others, you are free to define success on your own terms. This personal definition of success brings a deeper sense of fulfillment because it is aligned with your own goals and desires, rather than with societal expectations or external standards. Letting go of the need for external validation also helps you develop a stronger sense of self-awareness. Stoicism teaches that self-reflection is essential for personal growth, and by focusing on your own inner world, you become more attuned to your thoughts, feelings, and motivations. This self-awareness allows you to understand what truly brings you happiness and fulfillment, independent of external approval. As a result, you build a more authentic sense of self-worth, based on a deep understanding of who you are and what matters most to you. Another important aspect of breaking free from external validation is learning to embrace failure. Stoicism teaches that failure is an inevitable part of life, but it does not diminish your worth. When you no longer seek validation from others, you are free to view failure as an opportunity for growth rather than as a reflection of your value. This mindset allows you to take risks and learn from mistakes without fearing judgment or criticism. By embracing failure with a sense of curiosity and resilience, you build a deeper sense of confidence and self-worth, knowing that your value is not dependent on success or perfection. When you stop seeking external validation, you also create space for more authentic relationships. Stoicism teaches that true connection comes from being genuine and honest, rather than trying to impress or please others. By letting go of the need for approval, you can engage with others from a place of authenticity, without the pressure of trying to meet their expectations. This authenticity fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships because it allows you to connect with others as your true self, rather than as a version of yourself crafted for approval. Another powerful Stoic practice for building self-worth is focusing on your own progress rather than on external achievements. Stoicism teaches that growth and improvement are more important than recognition or validation from others. When you stop seeking approval, you can shift your focus to your own personal development, whether it's learning new skills, cultivating virtues, or becoming more resilient. This focus on progress brings a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness because it is rooted in your own growth, rather than in how others perceive you. By breaking free from the need for external validation, you also cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from within, and by letting go of the desire for approval, you free yourself from the anxiety and stress that come with seeking validation. This inner peace allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater calm and clarity, knowing that your happiness is not dependent on external factors. This sense of peace, grounded in self-worth, creates a stable foundation for lasting happiness, as you are no longer swayed by the changing opinions or judgments of others. When you build self-worth without external validation, you also become more resilient in the face of rejection. Stoicism teaches that rejection is a natural part of life, but it does not have to diminish your confidence or happiness. By focusing on your own self-worth, you can view rejection as a temporary setback rather than as a reflection of your value. This resilience allows you to bounce back from rejection with greater ease, knowing that your worth is not determined by whether others accept or approve of you. This mindset fosters a deeper sense of confidence and inner strength. Another aspect of breaking free from external validation is learning to set healthy boundaries. Stoicism teaches that you are responsible for your own well-being, and by setting boundaries, you protect your inner peace and happiness. When you no longer seek approval from others, you can establish boundaries that align with your values and needs, rather than compromising yourself to gain validation. These boundaries help you maintain a strong sense of self-worth as you prioritize your own well-being over the desire to please others. This practice fosters greater emotional independence and happiness. Letting go of the need for external validation also allows you to live with greater freedom and authenticity. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from living in alignment with your own principles rather than conforming to the expectations of others. When you stop seeking approval, you are free to pursue your passions, express your true self, and live according to your own values. This freedom brings a deep sense of joy and fulfillment, as you are no longer constrained by the fear of judgment or rejection. You can live fully and authentically, guided by your own inner wisdom. When you no longer seek external validation, you also develop a stronger sense of self-respect. Stoicism teaches that self-respect comes from acting in accordance with your values and principles, regardless of whether others recognize or approve of your actions. By focusing on your own integrity, you build a sense of self-respect that is independent of external validation. This self-respect strengthens your confidence and happiness, as you know that your worth is based on your own actions and choices, rather than on the opinions of others. Another benefit of breaking free from external validation is that it allows you to take ownership of your happiness. Stoicism teaches that your happiness is your responsibility, and by letting go of the need for others to validate you, you reclaim your power to create your own joy. This sense of ownership empowers you to make choices that align with your values and well-being, rather than being influenced by the expectations or judgments of others. This self-empowerment brings a deeper, more lasting sense of happiness, as you are no longer dependent on external factors for your fulfillment. When you stop seeking validation from others, you also cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude for yourself. Stoicism teaches that self-gratitude is essential for happiness, and by focusing on your own worth, you can appreciate your strengths, efforts, and growth. This self-gratitude fosters a sense of inner peace and contentment, as you learn to value yourself for who you are, rather than for how others perceive you. This practice of self-appreciation strengthens your sense of self-worth and happiness, creating a foundation for lasting fulfillment that is independent of external validation. Breaking free from the need for external validation also helps you cultivate patience and trust in your own journey. Stoicism teaches that growth and progress take time, and by focusing on your own path, you can develop the patience needed to navigate life's challenges. When you are no longer seeking approval from others, you can trust that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't align with external expectations. This patience and trust bring a deeper sense of peace and happiness as you learn to embrace your own journey, free from the pressure of external validation. After understanding how breaking free from the need for external validation creates deep inner confidence and lasting happiness, we now move to another essential Stoic principle: finding happiness in simplicity. In a world filled with distractions, excess, and constant pressure to acquire more, the Stoic approach to minimalism offers a path to peace and contentment. By focusing on what truly matters and letting go of the unnecessary, you can create space for joy and fulfillment. Let's explore how embracing simplicity, rooted in Stoic wisdom, can lead to a richer, more meaningful life. Simplicity begins with recognizing that happiness is not found in material possessions or external achievements, but in the quality of your inner life. Stoicism teaches that the more we attach our happiness to things outside of ourselves, the more we become enslaved by them. By choosing to live simply, you free yourself from the endless pursuit of more and begin to find joy in the present moment. This shift in focus allows you to experience life with greater clarity and appreciation, as you are no longer distracted by the constant desire for more. Living simply doesn't mean depriving yourself. Instead, it's about cultivating a mindset of contentment. Stoicism emphasizes that true wealth is not having more, but needing less. When you focus on what is essential, you begin to realize that much of what you thought you needed was only clutter, both physically and mentally. By embracing minimalism, you create space for what truly matters: relationships, meaningful experiences, and personal growth. This simplicity brings a sense of peace because you are no longer overwhelmed by excess, but are focused on the core elements of a fulfilling life. Another aspect of simplicity is the practice of mindful consumption. Stoicism teaches that much of our unhappiness comes from craving things that do not contribute to our well-being. By becoming more intentional about what you bring into your life, whether it's possessions, activities, or even thoughts, you create a more balanced and peaceful existence. Mindful consumption means considering whether something adds value to your life before acquiring it. This practice helps you avoid the trap of accumulating unnecessary things and allows you to focus on what genuinely enhances your happiness. One of the most profound effects of simplicity is the way it frees your mind from distractions. When you are constantly surrounded by excess, whether it's possessions, information, or commitments, it becomes difficult to focus on what truly matters. Stoicism teaches that peace of mind comes from clarity and focus, not from being busy or having more. By simplifying your environment and your life, you reduce the mental clutter that can cloud your judgment and drain your energy. This clarity allows you to engage more fully with the present moment, bringing a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment. Simplicity also fosters a greater sense of gratitude. When you focus on the essentials, you become more appreciative of what you have, rather than constantly striving for more. Stoicism teaches that contentment is found not in abundance, but in appreciating what is already present. By embracing minimalism, you shift your focus from what is lacking to what is sufficient. This mindset of sufficiency brings a profound sense of peace and happiness as you learn to be satisfied with less and to cherish the simple pleasures of life. Another benefit of simplicity is that it strengthens your relationships. When you are not distracted by the pursuit of material possessions or status, you can devote more time and attention to the people who matter most. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of meaningful connections, and minimalism helps you prioritize these relationships over superficial desires. By focusing on quality rather than quantity in your relationships, you build deeper, more fulfilling connections. This focus on relationships rather than material things leads to a more joyful and meaningful life. Simplicity also helps you cultivate a deeper connection with nature. Stoicism teaches that living in harmony with nature is essential for happiness, and minimalism allows you to experience this connection more fully. When you strip away the excess and distractions, you create space to appreciate the beauty and wisdom of the natural world. Whether it's a walk in the park, the sound of the wind, or the changing seasons, nature offers a source of peace and joy that is always available, yet often overlooked in the busyness of modern life. By embracing simplicity, you open yourself to the quiet, enduring happiness that comes from being in tune with nature. Another powerful effect of simplicity is the way it reduces stress. Stoicism teaches that much of our stress comes from overcomplicating our lives, whether through excessive commitments, material possessions, or unrealistic expectations. By choosing to simplify, you reduce the demands on your time, energy, and attention. This reduction in stress allows you to live with greater ease and peace, as you are no longer overwhelmed by the pressures of modern life. Simplicity creates space for relaxation, reflection, and joy as you let go of what no longer serves you and focus on what truly brings happiness. Simplicity also helps you develop greater resilience. When you are not attached to material possessions or external achievements, you become less vulnerable to the inevitable changes and losses that life brings. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and minimalism helps you cultivate this inner strength by focusing on what is permanent and essential rather than on what is fleeting. By embracing simplicity, you build a sense of resilience that allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater calm and confidence, knowing that your happiness is not dependent on external circumstances. Another key aspect of simplicity is the practice of letting go. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of releasing attachments to things that no longer serve you, whether it's possessions, relationships, or even old beliefs. By letting go of the unnecessary, you create space for new opportunities and experiences to enter your life. This practice of letting go brings a sense of freedom and lightness, as you are no longer weighed down by the past or by things that no longer align with your values. This freedom allows you to live more fully in the present, embracing each moment with openness and joy. Simplicity also fosters creativity. When you strip away the excess, you create space for new ideas and inspiration to emerge. Stoicism teaches that creativity and innovation often come from constraint, and minimalism helps you cultivate this sense of creative possibility. By focusing on the essentials, you learn to make the most of what you have and to find creative solutions to challenges. This creativity brings a sense of fulfillment and joy as you discover new ways to express yourself and engage with the world around you. Another benefit of simplicity is that it helps you develop a deeper sense of self-discipline. Stoicism teaches that discipline is essential for personal growth and happiness, and minimalism requires a commitment to choosing what truly matters. By practicing restraint and mindfulness in your consumption and choices, you strengthen your ability to focus on what is important and to avoid distractions. This self-discipline brings a sense of empowerment and control as you learn to make decisions based on your values rather than on impulses or external pressures. This discipline leads to greater fulfillment as you live in alignment with your true priorities. Simplicity also enhances your ability to live mindfully. Stoicism teaches that mindfulness, being fully present in the moment, is essential for happiness. When your life is cluttered with excess, it becomes difficult to be present, as your attention is constantly pulled in different directions. By simplifying your environment and your commitments, you create space to be more mindful and intentional in your actions. This mindfulness allows you to savor the present moment and to experience life with greater depth and richness, leading to a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment. Another way simplicity brings happiness is by fostering a sense of gratitude for time. Stoicism teaches that time is one of our most precious resources, and minimalism helps you prioritize how you spend it. By letting go of unnecessary commitments and distractions, you create more time for what truly matters, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing meaningful goals, or simply enjoying moments of rest and reflection. This mindful use of time brings a deeper sense of fulfillment as you focus on what enriches your life rather than on what depletes it. Simplicity also helps you cultivate a sense of inner peace. When you are not constantly striving for more, whether it's material possessions, achievements, or approval, you can find contentment in the present moment. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from within, and minimalism allows you to access this inner peace by removing the distractions and desires that pull you away from it. This peace brings a deep sense of joy and fulfillment as you learn to be satisfied with less and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life as it is. Another aspect of simplicity is the practice of intentional living. Stoicism teaches that living with purpose and intention is essential for happiness, and minimalism helps you align your actions with your values. By focusing on what is truly important, you can live more intentionally, making choices that reflect your deepest priorities. This intentionality brings a sense of fulfillment and clarity as you are no longer distracted by the noise and clutter of modern life, but are focused on what truly brings meaning and joy. Simplicity also helps you develop a greater sense of freedom. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from within, and minimalism allows you to experience this freedom by letting go of the things that hold you back. Whether it's material possessions, societal expectations, or old habits, simplicity helps you release what no longer serves you, creating space for new possibilities. This sense of freedom brings a deep sense of joy, as you are no longer constrained by external pressures, but are free to live authentically and in alignment with your values. Another benefit of simplicity is that it enhances your ability to experience joy in the present moment. Stoicism teaches that happiness is found in the here and now, not in the pursuit of future goals or possessions. By simplifying your life, you create space to fully engage with the present moment and to appreciate the simple pleasures of life. Whether it's a quiet morning, a conversation with a friend, or a moment of stillness, simplicity allows you to experience these moments more deeply and to find joy in the everyday. Simplicity also fosters a sense of humility. Stoicism teaches that humility is essential for personal growth and happiness, and minimalism helps you cultivate this humility by reminding you that you don't need more to be happy. When you live simply, you learn to appreciate the abundance that already exists in your life, rather than constantly striving for more. This humility brings a sense of peace and contentment, as you learn to be satisfied with less and to focus on what truly matters. Another powerful effect of simplicity is the way it deepens your connection to your own values. Stoicism teaches that living in alignment with your values is essential for happiness, and minimalism helps you clarify what is truly important to you. By letting go of the distractions and excess that cloud your vision, you can focus more fully on your values and priorities. This alignment brings a deep sense of fulfillment as you live in accordance with what truly matters, rather than being swayed by external pressures or desires. Simplicity also helps you cultivate a sense of resilience. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and minimalism helps you develop this inner strength by focusing on what is essential. When you are not attached to material possessions or external achievements, you become more resilient in the face of life's challenges. This resilience brings a sense of peace and confidence, as you know that your happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in your own inner strength. Another aspect of simplicity is the practice of gratitude. Stoicism teaches that gratitude is essential for happiness, and minimalism helps you cultivate this gratitude by focusing on the essentials. When you live simply, you become more aware of the abundance that already exists in your life, and you learn to appreciate the simple pleasures that bring joy. This gratitude brings a deep sense of fulfillment, as you shift your focus from what is lacking to what is already present. Simplicity also enhances your ability to live with purpose. Stoicism teaches that living with purpose is essential for happiness, and minimalism helps you align your actions with your values and goals. By focusing on what is truly important, you can live more intentionally and with greater clarity. This sense of purpose brings a deep sense of fulfillment and joy, as you are no longer distracted by the noise and clutter of modern life, but are focused on what truly matters. Finally, simplicity allows you to experience a deeper sense of peace. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from within, and minimalism helps you access this peace by removing the distractions and desires that pull you away from it. This peace brings a deep sense of joy and fulfillment, as you learn to be satisfied with less and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life as it is. as we explore how simplicity brings clarity and joy by cutting away the excess. It becomes clear that true happiness isn't just about what we remove from our lives, but also about what we cultivate within ourselves. Stoicism teaches that the foundation of lasting happiness is virtue. Virtue is not an abstract concept. It's the practice of living with integrity, wisdom, courage, and compassion. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest values. Let's dive into how the cultivation of virtue leads to true happiness, guiding every decision and action you take toward a more meaningful and fulfilled life. At the core of Stoicism is the belief that virtue is the highest good. When you live a life rooted in virtue, you gain a deep sense of peace and fulfillment, knowing that you are acting with integrity. This kind of happiness is not dependent on external circumstances. It comes from knowing that you are living according to your principles. Even when faced with challenges, the knowledge that you are making choices that align with your values provides a sense of inner contentment that external success or approval could never offer. Virtue begins with self-awareness. To live virtuously, you must first understand your own values and beliefs. Stoicism encourages deep self-reflection, asking you to examine your motivations, desires, and actions. When you develop a clear sense of who you are and what you stand for, you can make decisions that reflect your true self. This alignment between your actions and your values creates a powerful sense of happiness, because you are no longer torn between what you want to be and what you actually do. Living with virtue also means practicing courage. In Stoicism, courage is not just about facing physical dangers, but about standing up for what you believe in, even when it's difficult. Courage allows you to act with integrity in the face of fear, criticism, or uncertainty. Each time you choose to act courageously, you strengthen your sense of self-worth and happiness. Courage empowers you to live authentically, knowing that you are not compromising your values for the sake of comfort or approval. Another key aspect of virtue is wisdom. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is the ability to discern what is truly important in life and to make decisions that align with that understanding. When you cultivate wisdom, you can navigate life's complexities with greater clarity and confidence. Wisdom allows you to prioritize what truly matters and to let go of distractions that lead to dissatisfaction. This focus on what is essential brings a deep sense of peace and happiness, because you are no longer chasing superficial goals, but are living in harmony with your values. Practicing virtue also involves cultivating compassion. Stoicism teaches that we are all interconnected and that true happiness comes from acting with kindness and empathy toward others. When you practice compassion, you build stronger, more meaningful relationships and contribute to the well-being of those around you. This selflessness brings a profound sense of fulfillment because it aligns with the Stoic belief that we are here to serve and support one another. Compassion transforms your interactions, creating a cycle of positivity that enriches both your life and the lives of others. Living virtuously also helps you develop emotional resilience. Stoicism teaches that happiness is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to face them with grace and strength. When you live according to virtue, you build the inner strength to endure difficulties without losing your sense of purpose or peace. This resilience comes from knowing that you are acting in accordance with your principles, no matter what life throws at you. This sense of stability and inner peace is a powerful source of happiness because it is not dependent on external circumstances. Another way virtue leads to happiness is by fostering a sense of self-respect. When you act with integrity and align your actions with your values, you develop a deep sense of respect for yourself. This self-respect strengthens your confidence and allows you to navigate life with a sense of dignity and purpose. Unlike the fleeting happiness that comes from external validation, the happiness that comes from self-respect is lasting because it is rooted in your own choices and actions. Virtue also helps you cultivate humility. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom comes from recognizing that there is always more to learn and that no one is infallible. Humility allows you to approach life with openness and curiosity, rather than with arrogance or entitlement. This humility brings a sense of peace because it frees you from the pressure of needing to be perfect or always right. By embracing humility, you create space for growth and learning, which leads to deeper fulfillment and happiness. Practicing virtue also means taking responsibility for your own happiness. Stoicism teaches that you are the author of your life, and it is your choices that determine your happiness. When you live with virtue, you take ownership of your actions and decisions, rather than blaming external circumstances or other people for your unhappiness. This sense of responsibility brings empowerment because it puts your happiness firmly in your own hands. By taking control of your choices, you create a life that is aligned with your values and purpose. Another important aspect of virtue is practicing gratitude. Stoicism teaches that gratitude is essential for cultivating happiness, and living virtuously means recognizing and appreciating the good in your life. When you focus on what you are grateful for rather than on what you lack, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. This mindset of gratitude brings a deeper sense of contentment and joy because it helps you recognize the richness of your life as it is, rather than constantly seeking more. Virtue also encourages you to focus on long-term fulfillment rather than short-term pleasure. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from living a life of purpose and integrity rather than from chasing momentary pleasures. When you live virtuously, you prioritize actions and decisions that contribute to your long-term well-being and fulfillment. This focus on long-term happiness brings a deeper sense of satisfaction because it aligns with your values and helps you build a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. Living with virtue also means practicing patience. Stoicism teaches that many of life's greatest rewards come with time and persistence, and virtue helps you cultivate the patience to wait for these rewards. Patience allows you to endure difficulties and delays without losing your sense of purpose or happiness. This patience brings a sense of peace because it helps you trust in the process of growth and progress rather than becoming frustrated by the challenges you encounter along the way. Another powerful effect of living virtuously is that it helps you develop a sense of purpose. Stoicism teaches that living in alignment with your values gives your life meaning, and this sense of purpose is essential for lasting happiness. When you live with virtue, you are not simply reacting to external circumstances, but are actively shaping your life according to your principles. This sense of agency and purpose brings a deep sense of fulfillment because it gives your life direction and meaning no matter what challenges you face. Virtue also helps you cultivate discipline. Stoicism teaches that discipline is essential for personal growth and happiness because it allows you to stay focused on what truly matters. When you live with virtue, you develop the self-discipline to make decisions that align with your values, even when it's difficult. This discipline brings a sense of empowerment because it helps you stay true to yourself and your goals, rather than being swayed by distractions or short-term desires. Another benefit of virtue is that it fosters a sense of peace in your relationships. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes not from controlling others, but from acting with integrity and respect in your interactions. When you live virtuously, you cultivate compassion, honesty, and fairness in your relationships, which leads to deeper, more meaningful connections. This peace in your relationships brings a profound sense of happiness because it creates a foundation of trust and respect that enriches your life and the lives of those around you. Living with virtue also helps you develop resilience in the face of criticism or judgment. Stoicism teaches that the opinions of others are outside of your control, and true happiness comes from staying true to your values, regardless of what others think. When you live according to virtue, you build the inner strength to withstand criticism without losing your sense of self-worth or happiness. This resilience brings a sense of peace and confidence because you know that your happiness is rooted in your own integrity, not in the approval or disapproval of others. Another powerful aspect of virtue is that it helps you develop clarity in decision-making. Stoicism teaches that living with integrity and wisdom allows you to make decisions that are aligned with your values and long-term well-being. This clarity in decision-making brings a sense of peace because it helps you avoid the confusion and doubt that often come from trying to please others or chase external rewards. When you make decisions based on virtue, you can trust that you are making choices that contribute to your happiness and fulfillment. Virtue also helps you cultivate emotional balance. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes not from avoiding negative emotions, but from learning how to manage them with grace and wisdom. When you live with virtue, you develop the emotional resilience to navigate life's ups and downs without being overwhelmed by anger, fear, or sadness. This emotional balance brings a sense of peace and happiness because it allows you to maintain a steady, grounded approach to life, even in the face of challenges. Another benefit of living virtuously is that it helps you develop a deeper sense of self-trust. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom comes from within, and when you live according to your values, you build trust in your own judgment and decision-making. This self-trust brings a sense of confidence and happiness because it empowers you to navigate life with clarity and purpose, knowing that you are making choices that are aligned with your principles. Virtue also helps you cultivate a sense of humility. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom comes from recognizing that there is always more to learn, and living with virtue requires the humility to acknowledge your own limitations and mistakes. This humility brings a sense of peace because it allows you to approach life with an open mind, ready to learn and grow. By embracing humility, you create space for personal development and fulfillment, which leads to deeper happiness. Living with virtue also helps you develop a sense of compassion for yourself. Stoicism teaches that self-compassion is essential for happiness, and living virtuously means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to others. This self-compassion brings a sense of peace and fulfillment because it allows you to recognize your own worth and to approach your personal growth with patience and grace. Another powerful effect of virtue is that it helps you develop a sense of gratitude for your own growth. Stoicism teaches that personal development is a lifelong process, and living with virtue allows you to appreciate the progress you've made. This sense of gratitude brings a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness because it helps you recognize the value of your efforts and the positive impact of living according to your principles. Virtue also helps you cultivate a sense of purpose in your actions. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from living with intention, and when you live virtuously, you ensure that your actions are aligned with your values and goals. This sense of purpose brings a deep sense of fulfillment because it allows you to live with clarity and focus, knowing that your choices are contributing to your long-term well-being and happiness. Another benefit of living with virtue is that it helps you develop a sense of inner peace. Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from within, And living according to your values allows you to cultivate this inner peace by aligning your actions with your principles. This peace brings a profound sense of happiness because it helps you navigate life with a sense of purpose and integrity, knowing that you are living in alignment with your true self. Finally, living with virtue allows you to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment in all areas of your life. Stoicism teaches that true happiness is found in living a life of purpose, integrity, and compassion. And when you live virtuously, you create a life that is rich in meaning and joy. This fulfillment is lasting because it is rooted in your own actions and choices, rather than in external circumstances or rewards. By cultivating virtue, you create a foundation for true happiness that endures through all of life's challenges and changes. As we come to the end of this video, it's clear that happiness isn't found in fleeting moments or external circumstances, but in the choices we make each day. Through mastering your mind, eliminating joy, stealing habits, building a stoic morning routine, staying calm in adversity, walking away from toxic influences, practicing silence, detaching from outcomes, and cultivating virtue, happiness becomes a way of life. Stoicism teaches us that true joy comes from within, grounded in wisdom, courage, and self-control. The journey to happiness is one of intentional living, guided by purpose and inner peace. Now, it's your turn. What is one Stoic principle that resonates with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're incorporating these teachings into your life. And if you're ready to continue your journey toward a life of wisdom and fulfillment, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a new video, and let's keep growing together. Stay grounded, stay wise, and live with purpose.